Okay, everybody, we are live here just a little bit after 3 o'clock. Had some technical difficulties with the thumbnail. But I sent the link off to Fat Steven Seagal, so he should be here any second. But until then, I will take questions from whoever has any. Because I know that when I was interviewing Captain Greg and Dana Lee, you guys are spamming the chat with a bunch of questions, but I obviously didn't want to be rude and answer right in the middle of their response. So until Fat Steven Seagal gets here, fire away. Arwin Avalon. Oh, from Fat Steven Seagal's channel. Hello. Yeah. Holy. Growing fast in the chat here. The fat man sent me. Perfect. Awesome. Chips and salsa. Hello there. Bill. Guys are awesome. Becky Manor and War Monkey. Hello, hello. Some of these comments are funny. What do you guys think about the Dana Lee interview? I thought that was really insightful. And especially I got a comment about the Russell Brand episode that just came out. And I watched that, which is really interesting about the whole lying thing as far as the government goes with the terrorism allegations with the Give, Send, Go. By the way, I have no idea what's going on with that, whether they're releasing the money or unfreezing people's accounts or not. Fat Man sent me. Perfect. Let me check my email, see if he responded. Nope, nothing yet, so he should be here soon. GL Baker says, being out on the road and not very good coverage in the southern states at night, but did the lady ever get parole? I appreciate the info. Parole? Do you mean Tamara Lish? Or Leash? I was planning on watching that video by Russell later. Interesting stuff, says War Monkey. Yeah. Awesome dude, that guy. I also saw Travel Fund 69 in the chat earlier today when I was interviewing Dana. That's awesome. Michelle says, no, she didn't get bail. Judge says he'll think about it and let them know on Monday. Sad stuff, guys. Are there any live streamers that were present at Ottawa worried about any troubles from Trudeau and company? I don't think anybody was particularly worried as a streamer. I think Viva Clips has an updated about Tamara today. Okay. That's funny. Why are you holding so many fish hostage? That's so strange. I find it interesting how pretty much every streamer right now. Oh, it's Fat Steven. No way.
Well,
The man, the myth, the legend. Here he is. You changed your thumbnail, my man.
actually, a friend of mine drew this because he actually does comic book art, like for IDW and stuff too, right? So he actually drew the Steven Seagal. But most people also remember the fact that I can use a 3D avatar.
Yes.
But how you doing, Prince?
I'm pretty good. I'm just gonna turn the volume up here. All right.
Well, am I a little quiet? Hold on, I'm a little big.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Oh, there. No, there we go. How goes? Oh wait, it's off again. There we go. Now my head's moving and everything. There we go.
There we go. Okay, awesome. Now this is good. So, what have you been up to, man?
Well, first of all, I think I met covering you guys down in Ottawa. You guys were all coming down together. We had Ottawa Walks, you, Red Prince. We had War Campaign. What was the other one with the Z?
Zot.
Zoke seemed to be like the wandering guy going, guys, I'm at 1,500 subs. Now I'm at 5K subs. And he would pop up on Auto Walks and everything like that. And then he started streaming. It was great. I used to do pranks, but now I do real news. Sorry, I'm a little hyper.
So the interesting part about that is Zoke deleted all of his Convoy stuff. Hey, did you know that?
From the rumors I've heard is actually some of the Canadian governments or something was reaching out and telling streamers to delete their stuff, or people weren't aware. I told you some of this. Weren't aware of copyright claims and strikes, as well as Mac John. What happened to him, right?
Yeah, I heard that he got a strike for medical misinformation.
Two.
Yeah.
I think he got 2 strikes. First, you get a warning, and then you get 3 strikes. And after the warning, the first strike, I think you can't stream or upload for a week. So he got hit because one of the medical speeches on the TVs when they're doing their speeches. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I talk a lot. So guys, yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good. That's what we need. But I'm really curious about that now, because what exactly happened? Because I remember like talking to him on the street, and he's like, yeah, like I just got a copyright strike and now I can't stream anymore. And I'm like, oh man, that sucks. But I didn't know he got like multiple beyond that.
I believe if he got 2, because I think he made a clip of that and that got hit, but the first one's a warning. It doesn't affect you. It just gives you a warning. So technically you have 4. But he was on Viva Phrase talking about it. And he was trying to get Rumble and stuff set up and he couldn't.
Oh man. Yeah. So he got hit because I checked out his channel and he didn't do anything related to the Convoy. So
Mac John?
Yeah, like as far as like after that strike. So I think maybe he moved to a backup channel or some sort of Rumble account to do that. I don't know.
He was trying to, I think, get his backup YouTube channel going, but he needed the subs as well as enough. I think he had to do a 24-hour activation after getting the subs to go live. But he was literally just doing like old streamers used to do, just film content and upload it later. This is weirding me out because my head isn't talking. There we go. That's better.
Okay, like I don't get that, because like some people got hit up with the strikes and some people didn't. So I think it's like you kind of gotta remember the mortality of like your channel, right? Like it's like, what is that?
I am so sorry. I'm in a condo, right? Whoa! Oh my god, my whole channel's going crazy. Pretty much, you got to be careful, especially with the way YouTube algorithms work, because you all came down there for one reason. You want to see what was going on, experience it for yourself, and see what the big deal was. And what comes with that is that when you're having music played in the background, you'll still get claimed and you'll have to dispute it. Or YouTube's a fickle mistress, okay? Don't think of it as like, oh, I'm monetized. Think of it, oh my God, why do you have to drill now? But pretty much, you have to think of it as a timeshare. They're letting us earn money here. Oh it's like he knows. It's like he knows. But it's like a timeshare, right? We're given an opportunity to earn money here, but we also have to follow their guidelines, and it sucks. But I start following all you guys. I was just doing restreaming and trying to get as much as you guys seen as possible, right? And I know I ran into you and said, hey, I hope it's okay. And then you said, yeah, sure, it's fine. And I did Main Street, Ottawa, you, Ottawa, Scotty, Zote once in a while when he was doing interviews with Eric. But I also backed up all your guys' footage. So even some of Mac John's footage is still backed up, the stuff I was restreaming and telling where to find you guys. is all
Oh,
backed up on Rumble. Everything from Ottawa that I was doing covering for going through all you guys' different feeds is all backed up on Rumble, but with my commentary. But everything is backed up, so you guys have records of certain scenes, like when Zoe got arrested, when you took off and the LRAD was about to come in, and I'm messaging you, bro, get out of there. When we were watching, like when the woman got sprayed and hit in
yeah.
the face, Rebel News, we were watching that stream when it happened in real time, and when she got shot point blank in the leg. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy, man. Because like, you gotta. Even though I'm the biggest noob out there as in terms of streamers, like I think I was like the one of
Most
the.
innocent, I would say. Most
Okay,
innocent.
all right. Well, let's put it that way, a little more positively. But like, yeah, like I was like, all right, I may be a noob, but I know when to get out. Like that was just not it for me.
Yeah, and I was like, when we were watching them move in the second day, like the day after the horse trampling and stuff, it was like, oh, buddy, because they came in bright and early in the morning, and everyone's like, we need to get set up. We need to get set up. Shabo took it like a man, though. He gave someone else his phone to still stream. He got out of the truck, went down on his hands, his knees, arms behind his head, and they just came and grouped him up. And supposedly the that wooden shed they had up there, right? Yeah, in the shed camera actually caught the 5 cops like while they're kneeing him or beating the crap out of him or something like that. I don't know. He wasn't
Oh,
resisting.
I saw it on live
broken
on
ribs and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, he got on Fox, eh?
Yeah, he got on Fox a couple times. I know Zoke got on Fox. We were going back and forth on my channel. Like we were going back and we were seeing how you guys were showing something, and then we would show how Parliament was talking about it, and there was 2 different stories going on. And I'm sitting there. I honestly could have opened a beer store with the amount of beer I had to drink through some of the stuff you guys were going through, and it was crazy.
What,
You guys,
you were drinking that much?
let's just say I had to open up a new command in my stream elements that was called beer, and they would say where to donate beer fund.
That's when you know it's bad.
Yeah, but people like in your chat, like you have Larry, Arwin Avalon, Low Spec. A lot of those people are my mods, and they're along for the ride. And that's one thing I gotta say to all you guys. Watching all you guys every day, like I was doing almost 16 hours a day covering you guys. Straight.
That's insane. Like, so it's basically like a double work day for you.
No, I was officially a gaming channel. I was like, I had a Fortnite creator code. I was doing Destiny, Phasmophobia, all that stuff. But when I started getting like into this every day, I was up at 7. I was checking to see what feeds were first, whether it be on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and I would just go live and try to get the stream around. And you guys were in the thick of it, but you also developed your own kind of like streaming family at the same time. And I think you guys did really good down there. Really good.
I know. My only regret in all this is that I wish that
I brought more food.
No, oh no way! Like I had way like a lot of food left over because okay, for everyone who doesn't know, you changed.
I love the food yesterday.
So basically, before I left, I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna commit. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go out Ottawa. I'm gonna live stream this thing for as long as until it comes to a conclusion. I had in my mind rationalized that as about 2 to 3 weeks. Now I was right on the money at 2 weeks because right when it ended, that was when my Airbnb expired. But anyways, back to the beginning, I basically like chefed up at home like crazy. Like I cooked meals and froze them in the back of my trunk, like basically for like a 3-week span. So, okay, I'm going to prepare just in case sort of thing. But then I ended up like not using barely any of that because like I was walking down the streets with the camera. Chris, hey man, you want a burger? Do you want like a burrito? All this stuff. I'm like, sure, I guess, man. Like whatever, cool. And they just fed me until I was just full to the brim every day.
You guys, honestly, I'm so happy you got a gimbal finally or whatever, because you walking around with a giant ass tripod was the funniest thing I seen when you walked up to the streamer. Like, what is this guy doing? You just see this giant guy, this kid with the toque on, the glasses, holding these 3 sticks, is going, you guys seeing everything okay? Meanwhile, people looking at you like, why is he holding a whole camcorder?
Yeah, I know. That was so jokes. I was like, oh man, like I look like the biggest noob here. It's like this. I actually have it. I have it in the background here. It's attached to my camera, but it's like huge. So Yeah, that was not a good look. I think nobody, like, when they saw me, they're like, "Oh, this guy's not serious. All right, we're gonna go to like Travel Fun 69 or whatever his channel." I was just like, "Oh man, it's not doing me any good."
It got crazy because you guys that were on like down on the ground, you weren't paying attention what was going on with city council and parliament and stuff. And city council was calling truckers terrorism and all this stuff through their stuff. But the funny part is, for the couple of the council members who were on there, one of them got voted out because of their actions. Three other people resigned, and I think someone else got voted out because he actually went down to experience the Freedom Convoy. So they're not even going after people within the city council, whatever, that were just going down to experience it for themselves, because that was the theme. It was either we're doing this for our children and the mandates, or come down and experience it for yourself. And it's not every day you get a February, well, pretty much it's like a Freedom February now, where you saw Canadians across the everywhere, even like seeing Fleur de Lis and Canadian flag side by side, just high fives, handshakes, handing out hand warmers. There was a total different narrative and feel from what we've seen from 2020 on, and that was no one was afraid anymore. And I think that's why everyone was tuned in. We all wanted to see something like that for a long time. Whether we lost our jobs, we were trying to see whether we'll be accepted for CERB the next day. All those things were just compiled on us for 2 years, and you guys brought it to us. And all I could do is try to get you guys found. And a lot of the people that popped up on my channel first went to you guys next, and I'm glad you guys got the success you did for just being you. Sorry, I'm not trying to sound emotional, like let's hug, bro. It's like I'm serious. Although sub to my channel, by the way, Fat Steven Seagal. You can find out. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Well, it's funny because like I feel like so many people went there just with honest intentions, but now it's pretty obvious that they're riding on the coattails of the convoy. Like,
I've been watching a lot of them, and let's just say some of them are putting bad taste in some of the people's convoys' mouths by how they're acting. And I'm not judging, but I've said this before on my streams when I was covering you guys, and a lot of the streamers, some of the streamers that were down there when they started. Can I swear, or do you want me to keep it PG?
Whatever, I don't care.
All right. Well, people in the chat, I do swear it's like a sailor, but I'll leave it like this. When I tune into a streamer that was in an area that wasn't being covered yet, and all I'm hearing is them bitching about super chats or re-streamers and people taking away their super chats, I just went to a different streamer, because I was like, you went down there by your free will to see what was going on, to film Ottawa, to film the protest on your own volition.
Mm-hmm.
But when you start complaining about money and super chats, your chat's not going to tune in for that. And one of them even tried to threaten one of them, saying, "Oh," and like we were watching it live when he was saying this. Not the person he was threatening. He was saying, "Oh, I hate those restreamers. They're taking away our super chats that they're not earning, and I'm going to use a copyright bot and strike down all their stuff." And I'm like, "Bring it! I am doing commentary." Yeah, I think you heard the story, right? There was one YouTuber who was like, "Oh, restreamers and even people on the ground." Yeah, it got bad.
Well, the funny thing is that I thought you were talking about the people who didn't want the super chats, and they were like complaining about, "Oh, don't give me the super chats." Like you were telling me that last time that I was on the show. So did it change from that?
No, I'm talking about. I think you talked to VidStorm when VidStorm was talking about the guy who was like, I'm copyright striking and complaining and stuff, because VidStorm usually just had different feeds up, right? And that's how I learned about the whole stuff. But VidStorm went down there later, and great job. But yeah, there was one down there that was literally complaining. There was a couple actually who would have their moments who were like, "Well, I don't really like restreamers because they're just taking away from us." And I'm like, most of them are crediting you, and if they're not, those are the ones you should go after. But when you're complaining about money, you're taking away from the whole reason why the truckers are down there. They're not down there for money. And that was my perception. Sorry.
Yeah, like there's no reason to be complaining about money. Like the super chats were coming in like nuts. Like there's no way that you should be like, for me at least, maybe it's just with the innocent mind, but I was looking at that like, people are actually donating to me like this.
I was yelling at you. Where is your PayPal? We talked the day before. Where is your PayPal? And I'm like, oh my God. I'm in your chat. Where is your PayPal? We talked about this last night when you somehow popped up on the stream by accident. You were like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, so the PayPal was in the but then I was like, people aren't going to donate to that because it's like, the
They
super
will.
chats are now active, so it's like people would rather do that. But I still got a few, and it was like,
Donate to Red Prince because I'm a hot anime chick. I'm sorry.
that's the thing. Like I pretty much expected that the convoy is now over, and
It's not.
I'm not going to get as many super chats. I don't like. That's the thing. It's never really been about the money. But anyway,
By the power of Grayskull, give him money.
I think that now that I'm that's a huge leap in and of itself. As I was saying, 40 subscribers before I got here, and yeah, okay, I'm bleeding subscribers like a drunken sailor, but
They're gonna wipe you out because it's over. It's normal.
What's that?
It's normal. It will bleed you out. They've been doing it to me too, and because the people that are now interested in this either are not active anymore, or it's actual people that are still watching. YouTube sometimes has this thing where they will automatically unsubscribe people, so it's a normal thing. I've been doing this for about 2 years on YouTube now.
Okay, so now there's a pretty important question here. So have you ever had an event like this where it's like an event base, and then when the event ends, then like do you lose subscribers for a while, or like what should I expect?
You will always lose it. But what I've been told by my friend Loki, brother Loki, is don't look at the numbers. The more you focus in on the numbers, and shut up, Arwen, before you write in the chat. Sorry. Don't. She's gonna say you should do the same thing because you'll get focused on it by accident when you're going into your studio. Don't look at the numbers. Just keep being you. Just keep doing your content and just focus on that.
Well, so that's kind of I had quite a bit of a discussion about that with my parents last night because I was of the opinion that, oh my God, you. But anyways, I was of the opinion that the channel is in. Oh yeah, cranking it.
No. Actually, I'll give a little heads up probably why they're doing it up there. Back in I think it was like January or something. 4 a.m. in the morning, part of the water boiler, the boiler on top of the building, because we're on the top floor, it snapped and our whole living room was getting flooded. Our ceiling was getting flooded. So that's probably the repairs they're doing. They had to cut out huge chunks in our ceiling and everything. Because
that must have been real warm.
Oh yeah, there's nothing better than hoping a guy in a bathtub falls out of your ceiling. I'm waiting for that still, like Looney Tunes.
That's funny, man. But yeah, as I was saying, like I was genuinely concerned that I was shadow banned, right? Oh yeah.
I'm gonna punch all of them on the roof very slowly. I'm kidding.
Okay, are we good? Anyways, I'll just keep on talking. If you have to mute, then whatever. But so I was really concerned for a while that I was shadow banned because my first video that I put up after I came home from the convoy, like my first stream, I was just talking about whatever, not much to be honest with you. That got like 16,000 views. I was like, oh, like this is pretty decent. Like I didn't expect anyone to watch after the fact. And then I posted like a clip, like highlights and stuff, from like the convoy for like people I guess who couldn't like tune into the whole thing. And then that got like pretty good views as well. And then I was like, oh, okay, like this is a pretty smooth transition. And then it just like bottomed out like all of a sudden. Right. And it was to the point where like 97% of the people watching the video was like already subscribed. So I was like, how am I supposed to like survive?
First of all, I'll let you know on something. All right. You're doing this off your computer right now. And I'm proud of you for using StreamYards. I am. But you're doing this on your computer, right?
Yes.
So are you using Google Chrome right now?
I am.
All right. So press Control-T, open up a new tab. I'm going to show you a trick, okay? Open up a new tab. That's not me.
That's Dana Lee messaging me, actually.
But you can open up a new tab, go to YouTube, and just type in like hashtag, let's say, Red Prince. And if your Prince, even in an incognito window, if it's still your channel's still popping up, you're not shadow banned. You'll have to do something pretty crazy to get on the shadow ban. They'll suffocate you.
My video, yeah, came up. Like my video that I just did with Dana Lee today. So
Then
I
you're
guess
fine.
that doesn't mean that I'm shadow banned. There you go.
No, you're doing pretty good. You're not. For me, it was like me covering the convoys over time. My max watching was about 3,000, and then sooner after a while, it started dumbing down by hundreds and hundreds. But I wasn't being shadow banned. It was that the people that found the channels through the restreamers wanted to go to you guys and support you more. That's how it works out. Pretty much, it's like restreamers in a way, or I guess you can call them, are like, how would you describe it? They're the crossroads, and then people get to choose where they want to go next to watch.
Okay.
Does that make sense? But you're not. You should be okay. Just don't worry about the numbers. Keep doing you. Try to branch into entertainment like you want. Even do convoy skits or something. I don't know.
Yeah, to be like, I was a little like bummed out about it for the last like week because again, like I was looking at the numbers so critically. Like I was like, oh my god, like what's wrong with me and stuff, and I'm like, it just got to my head, and then now I'm just thinking to myself, well, of course, with a more level head, and I'm like, okay, you know what? Like even if I can get like 1,000 core people who are like genuinely invested in me and the channel, that's good enough. And then we can just rebuild from there.
Yeah, it is true. But I'm gonna find something quickly because I think you most people need to know this because it and I want you guys here. I'm gonna share it. Do you know how to share? It'll pop up at the bottom underneath our screen right here as soon as I figure out. But paste and go.
Yeah,
Make
you're
sure
so
you.
much more savvy with this stuff than I am. I swear, were you like an IT specialist before this?
To be honest, if you want to know about me, honestly, I was laid off in 2020 by email when the lockdowns happened. They made me sign an NDA. I have
Oh,
I have a network engineering degree, but I chose to actually work in retail because I like pop culture, like comics, anime, all that stuff. So pretty much, they laid me off. I survived off disability. I am on Ontario disability because I was a messenger in Toronto for about 9 years. The last guy who messed me up herniated my spine to the point where no one can operate on it because it will paralyze me from the waist down. So I have been living with that for a few years. I then was working retail, got laid off, and then made YouTube my channel my job. So I respect it like I respect my house. I don't expect anyone to crap at it because I don't crap in your house unless I'm using the facilities. From there, it's just been a struggle getting to 1K subs, then getting monetized, and growing ever since.
wow, man, that sounds like a friggin' mission. Now I understand why you didn't want to go to the convoy.
I have no way of getting down there. Another thing I had to add in before you share that is in 2021, beginning of 2021, my dad got to be taken to the hospital. He was in the washroom, and all of a sudden he couldn't stand up. His legs gave out. So I had, because I live with him and help take care of him as he helps take care of me, because everyone knows disability, you can't afford anything except a crappy room. So what I did is, the moment he got carried out on the stretcher, it was pretty much another thing out of my control. And that image sticks in your head. And you can't visit because we still have lockdowns and restrictions. I have two other brothers. One we don't talk to anymore because he's gone crazy or whatever. But the other one was not only never willing to come over and help get new clothes for him at the hospital, it was a battle. And through those months where he was still in the hospital, I was trying not to break down. I was still trying to focus on my channel, doing gaming and all that stuff. So it's been up and down for about 2 years. So I had a personal stake in it, but not like I wanted to see the world change through these protests. But I was talking about the fear earlier is that everyone needs to see that we can still have a Canada Day even in winter, and there was no prejudice. There was no Nazi flags. The Confederate flags, you're focusing on the outliers. It's like you see a big group of Canadian flags, the things you're going to pick out are the ones that don't fit in. It was seeing just how much humanity can be great, and then you change the channel to Parliament or the Ottawa City Council or even like a police conference, and you can see how embarrassing it is at the same time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Damn, man. It seems like everybody has their own story of how, they came about this protest and, why they support the protest and everything. I feel so strange when I hear all these stories because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, why does everyone else have it harder than me? Like, damn. Like, I think my life is hard, and I see everybody else. I'm like, man, I shouldn't complain.
All right. For those asking, you want to know why I hide my face? I have been anonymous for 2 years on YouTube, and I'm the fat Steven Seagal. People have already built an image of what it could be. B, to be respectful, it's really no one's business how I show my face or not. And C, I have family that I don't want ever attacked or threatened if I say something on YouTube they don't agree with. My anonymous standard is mine, and that's how I chose to live it. I don't want to get doxxed. But let's look at the Give, Send, Go hacked list, and people who donate were getting not only doxxed, harassed by CBC, having their companies threatened, but their employees being threatened. That's good reasoning enough. I don't show my face except to the people that I have known for 2 years that I trust enough that won't mess you over. And that should not be a problem for anyone. And I think a lot of people sometimes forget that just because you're just seeing an avatar and hearing a voice, it doesn't mean it's not a real person. But I have a video for you because you guys need to hear about the truckers. And this comes from the U.S. Convoy.
So I see that you shared something here with me. So I just add it to stream, and then what do I do there?
I'll just add it to stream, and it will play.
Oh, okay.
Or I'll play it. But and I apologize for being rude to anyone here. I'm not trying to be derogatory. It's just my anonymousness or whatever it's called, anonymity, ambiguous, whatever it's called. It's me. There's a lot of people like that. But here, you might like this.
From the bottom of my heart, to the Canadian citizens, to the Canadian truck drivers, to the Canadian supporters, the people of Canada, and I think the People's Convoy and the people of the United States, thank you for standing up. We love you, we respect you, and we have your back, Canada. We have your back. I can't really go any further along with this.
And that's from the organizer. Cool. Yeah, so you guys have, there's Canada flags flying down in the U.S. There's over 200 vehicles in that convoy. And they're really thankful. They're really thankful for what happened in Ottawa. And the streamers especially, you guys did a great job. I can't thank you guys enough.
Crazy, man.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to be weird.
No, that was a really good video. I didn't see or hear of that actually, but that's another. So that brings up a very interesting point, and I've been asking everyone about this because I'm genuinely curious where the opinions go. It's so
up to him just to tell him to stop. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna find like a corkscrew for wine to start drilling slowly.
So what is your prediction for the American convoy? Do you think it is going to be successful, and how long do you think it's going to last?
Well, they're not going into DC to protest like Ottawa. They're supposed to be doing a slow roll around DC.
Right.
But it like you guys, it already has been successful. The best part is people aren't afraid as much anymore. They have they have principle to believe in. They can support the truckers. They can support the streamers. They support the fact that it's not just about the freedom of whether or not to wear a mask or get a jab. It's the freedom to be able to live again without wondering when the next lockdown or emergency act or anything else is coming. So I think you guys already accomplished that. It takes little steps, but when you got over 200 vehicles in a U.S. convoy going from California to D.C., with the smaller ones meeting up. General Michael Flynn went across the CB 2 days ago and thanked the truckers. You had an attorney general do a speech at their rally yesterday. They rolled out a flag bigger than a house altogether. You guys, the message is already out. Like, the success of whether or not you get a mandate lifted might not work, but you guys are doing great.
See, that's my concern. Is whenever I ask this question, I never get a definitive answer because people, I think, are afraid to admit the truth, and that this is like I straight up do not understand why it is being done. Like like I heard yesterday when I did an interview with Captain Greg that oh well, they're not even going to go into DC. They're most likely going to rent a private space and just hunker down there, maybe do a little drive by or whatever, but they're going to stay on private property, sorry. And I'm just thinking to myself, how effective really is that going to be? Like, sure, it's going to be like an event. Sure, it's going to send out a message. But, you know, for a protest to be or to be effective, it has to be having a certain level of disruptiveness, which I think the convoy in Ottawa did perfectly. But I'm just thinking, like, it's just going to be a quasi festival, really. So I'm just like, how effective can it really be, you know?
Well, did you follow New Zealand at all with Wellington? What happened, I think, after the State of the Union, where riot police moved in, fires were being set by protesters, water cannons, tear gas, and pepper sprays were being used. It was a lot worse than what they were claiming. You were being mean to the police in Ottawa. It was definitely a different thing. And like, that's the funny thing I forgot to tell you. When the House of Commons were going, literally, people were standing up for the journalists that were hiding their ID, going, they're being mean to journalists. They're calling them names. And I'm like, well, journalism has been slandering people with narratives for God knows how long, and it's an uphill battle to earn back that respect. I don't agree with the guy spitting on the camera, dude, or anything else, but the Windsor was great. When the riot police started moving in, not the riot police moving in from Windsor, but when they had CNN set up, all the streamers or the protesters in Windsor turned around going, get out of here, CNN, and they chased CNN out because they don't want fake news anymore. 2 or 3 days ago, I think it was Saturday, they had a march, right? There was one in Vancouver and there was one in Toronto. Toronto had about 8,000 plus people. They stood outside at Queen and John, you know where the City Much Music used to be? CTV.
I think so.
They stood outside there chanting, tell the truth and fake news, and then sang the anthem, and then walked off. Church of Bubbles was down there.
I've been hearing so much about him, but I don't even, like, is he a streamer?
He is a streamer. Church of Bubbles. When the day of the Windsor stuff, the kettling was happening, and we got our first look at the spotters and the dogs and the riot tank, or whatever you want to call it, SWAT and all that stuff. When we were done watching the Facebook feeds of what was going on, we went back and I found Church of Bubbles first, and he was down there with the counter protesters.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that day shook me up, man. You don't understand. Like I don't know if you ran into the counter protesters, but the ones that were there with Bubbles, we all hear stories about monsters under our bed, right? We've all heard those tales and stories and stuff like that. Or like you don't know what hate, like Jedi, Sith, light, dark, all that stuff. But no, the counter protesters were hate personified. It was nothing but hate. It felt so not angry because they just wanted Ottawa to go back to normal. It was just hateful. You could feel it through the feed. It was horrible. And when they started like actually coming up in a mob mentality on one streamer, the cops weren't doing anything just yet. They were getting closer and closer. And then the cops did approach them. It was like, hey, you're kind of antagonizing the crowd. I'm like, the whole crowd has been calling them domestic terrorists, racist, misogynist, Ram Ranch, all this stuff. And Bubbles and his buddy is getting blamed. While these other counter protesters are just hovering around, mocking them, everything. Look at the missing link, all this stuff. And when Viva Frey encountered the first group of counter protesters, they were also very antisocial. Very, don't talk to these people. Don't approach them. the way you guys and the truckers handled Ottawa, protecting the war memorial, cleaning up, feeding people, keeping people warm, respecting your capital, you could see how yin and yang was playing an effect there. Who was actually watching just mainstream news or living in the selfish mentality that just because you live in Ottawa, it's your city. It might be the city you live in, but it's the whole country's capital. And they weren't even thinking about that. And the truckers were treated that whole place with respect. They followed the injunction. I know about the fire breaks and the guys trying to tape the door shut in the condo. I did see proof of that. About the harassment with masks, I saw some police reports, but no verification of stories and truth. So I can't say it didn't happen.
Yeah.
But the amount of good outweighing the bad. If you guys were so bad, why is it with all the intel slowly was saying they were collecting, couldn't find a reason to remove you guys forcefully? Do you know what I mean?
Right. That's right. That's very interesting that you bring that up, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, Mayo. How was that Mayo run, bro?
Oh my God, man!
We were
That
watching.
destroyed me, man. I didn't want to like wimp out to war campaign or whatever, but it was a tough slog. He's like carrying like a couple sausages or whatever, and he's like, "Here, carry all the mayo," and I'm like, you know, like beasting it along over here while I'm holding my giant tripod. So it's like, oh man, but like. It's interesting that you mentioned that because it's a perfect segue. Because right as we delivered that mayo, like not 30 minutes later, we get one of those counter protesters, and I think you saw it. You know, go home terrorists and the freedom convoy signs and everything.
Was that
And
the one with near City Hall, or was that the one banging the pot and pan?
Neither. So she was a lady that was standing by herself with one of those like weird like duck-shaped masks, like you know the masks where the crease like runs like.
Oh
vertical.
yeah.
And anyway,
construction worker. Yeah.
Yeah. So she was like right by like the chief's food tent, like the native chief's food tent where he sung for War Campaign and Me, and so she was right at that intersection. I believe it was some street. It was like right at the intersection of, and she was like standing in front of 3 trucks, and then she had a poster and then like also a picket sign, and so she was basically like calling everybody terrorists, and like she called War Campaign a terrorist. Like I wasn't there for that, but I watched his stream afterwards, and oh my God, he was so angry. He was like. The last time I had someone call me a terrorist was at 9/11, and you're like, you know, he was going off on her. So, crazy stuff. But I was really surprised that Viva went to the city hall and you know, like interviewed some counter protesters and like didn't take too much heat for it.
They the one chick that was there, she was holding like a really like a micro machine size sign for BLM, and I'm like, wait a minute, what does BLM have to do with this? And every time Viva would try to approach, because Viva has that personality, bro. As much as I think his hair is secretly a Fry kid, and you know, you just want to put googly eyes on it because you know it's real. He has that personality where he can disarm you. He comes with a smile. He comes with open respect. He treats you like a first encounter all the time. And the fact that he was met with such hostility. Or the fact that girl with the BLM sign was whispering, going, don't talk to them. It showed how much they refused to even have a discussion or even share their point of view of why they were counter protesting. And you can see where they don't want to have a discussion. It was like a brick wall. There was also a story with him. I don't know if you caught that interview where he was interviewing someone from the LGBTQ community, a trans person. And they had a flag around their back, and they were telling the story about how they showed up for when those counter protesters were there. The counter protesters were kind of like cheering and yay, but when they were watching that person then cross the street, not only did they try to yank them back by the flag around their neck, they started booing them or whatever it was. Yeah. So the like this whole, and then while holding like BLM stuff, and like you're supposed to be acceptable about minorities, they're as soon as you're not on their side, you are now the enemy. It's like cancel culture.
Yeah. They're like pulling her back, like yo, guys. We have a trans person here. See, we're inclusive. And then when they go to the other side, come back. What are you doing? Like, it's just what the hell.
It was crazy. And you had stuff going on in New Zealand. You had convoys in Israel, Jerusalem. You had things popping up everywhere. France was nuts. Like, you guys don't
I was
understand. Like,
watching that too. Yeah, the riot police and everything, the smoke bombs, crazy stuff, man. I was like, holy crap. When I was watching that, I was like, no way. Like, is this what's going to happen in Canada? Like, because I'm going to be here in the thick of it no matter what. But like, I didn't want it to come to that.
Did you see Calgary?
No. What happened in Calgary?
Oh, buddy, you're going to love this because you can't tell me the stuff in Ottawa didn't inspire.
Let's add this to the stream, baby.
It's going to be loud, ladies and gentlemen, but this was Calgary. This was, like, I believe, during the emergency.
Oh, this was February 19th. So this was the same day that
You can't tell me you guys didn't do anything to affect people. Look how far the people go back. They're all on my channel, Plasmar.
Wow.
You guys did beautiful.
Damn.
You guys did beautiful. No joke. You guys think you didn't accomplish anything? You accomplished a lot. Even if it doesn't seem like the government changed. You did a lot.
Wow, man.
But yeah. I swear to God, this guy is just drilling the shit out of me. I'm not even in prison. Oh, bad joke. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. Like, he's right above you too.
February 19th, Evan.
So, oh man. So I was, my one thing, I should have been there all night. I should have filmed the like last stand, I guess you should call it, with the police. And I should have been there all night because I pretty much knew at that point it was going to be over within a day or two. So I should have just soaked up the rest of my data and just went hard with it. Because that was like, the primo moment. That was like the whole like aspect of like the convoy coming to a head. So I should have, for some reason I had hope in the back of my mind. I was like, yeah, the police are going to be held off and they're going to, it's going to go on for like another week or whatever. But no,
you did good. You got out when you got to and you got safe. Because they're still going after people there at the protest, arresting people even in like Quebec, even for just attending. Even Ottawa businesses that donated to like the Freedom Convoy because they believed in what they were standing for were getting harassed at these are actual Ottawa businesses, and there are other locations in some place where somebody actually draped like a terrorist flag over top of the front of their store, threatening to throw bricks. There was definitely you guys got out when you needed to. The Rebel News who got smoked, that wasn't good. The woman who got trampled, that's the best part. And I'm still working on that video because I'm lazy. But you remember the woman that got trampled, that woman that had like the walker seat, the mobility cart. Yeah. The best part is when the interim police chief, that bald, the dick with ears, that dude, Steve Bell, whatever his name is, Uncle Fester. When he was being asked questions, you could see his nervous tics, and he was trying to blame Photoshop, saying it was Photoshop, like the woman got trampled, and he literally stated, because I got this, the people that were collided with the horses got back up and continued to protest. I then have an image of her being escorted on the other side of the riot police lines for medical, to go get medical help because her shoulder got messed up. So even then, he was lying on national news when asking questions, saying that they got back up and went in. They were also saying that they threw a bike at the horse. No,
I did hear that.
The guy the guy was there in the same line where the woman got trampled, right? The dude holding the bike was using it as a barricade to keep himself safe from like maybe getting a horse hoof on him. He wouldn't throw it. He put it stationary in front of him. That's it. There's video of it. I want you to. There's actually one thing I want to ask you because I don't know if you've watched the Fifth Estate documentary of the Ottawa protests. Have you?
No, I don't even know what that is.
then I want to, like, I'm gonna say this right now. I want to invite you on sometime this week or next week live, and we're gonna watch that together, and you can see how much of a narrative they twisted on that, because you'll be
Yeah.
insulted.
When do you want to do that? I want to do that.
All right. Well, how about Monday?
Yeah, okay.
What
I
could-
got nothing
what-
going on.
What's a good time Monday?
Like let's say noon.
We can do it noon, 12 Eastern noon. Yeah, we can work that. I'll set up a thumbnail and we'll get things going. That's
Yeah.
perfect.
Do you have a preference for time?
No, dude, this is my
Okay.
job. I have spent anywhere from when I say I've been doing almost 16 hours a day, I was literally covering you guys 16 hours a day live. Like I was going through everything. That with articles, that with the House of Commons. Everything's there. Everything's still up. No one has taken anything down. Everything of mine is still up from you guys. Everything.
Yeah, no, I'm not taking my stuff down either. Even though I kind of know it's gonna like shoot myself in the foot if I like try and like do something non-political with the channel, it's gonna like alienate like virtually like half of the people.
Well,
but it's like, you know, if they don't want to subscribe, then that's okay. You know, like I just kind of, because I'm starting to realize more and more that YouTube is just a what do you call that? Like an outsource of your personality. So like, why would you want to try and censor your personality, right? It should just be yourself.
you have 77 people watching you right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that 77 better than no one?
No, I know. I'm not
just being
trying
a
to
dick.
complain about that at all. I'm just
No, I know that you're complaining. I was like saying you got 77 people that aren't here because of political values. They're here because they want to listen to you.
Yeah, which is kind of amazing when you think about it. Like, you know, because I thought like, oh yeah, you know, everyone's just here for the convoy, like whatever. But like now we're just kind of chumming around with each other and not really talking too much about the convoy. And it's like, you know, we're still stable at like around 80 people. And I'm just like, that many people would be interested about like just a regular day conversation with Fat Steven the Canadian. Like, I know, it's just like crazy.
The funny thing is I actually live in the next city over from Red Prince, and that was the most weird shittest ever. I told him that like a couple days ago. Yeah, but effing yeah, that's the other thing. The problem, the woman got trampled, but the dude with the brown jacket, who literally looked like the horse stomped on his head, there was rumors that he was deceased because his head got crushed in, but there's been no verified reports of that. That's the messed up thing. There were people actually trying to say that woman who got trampled was set up by Rebel News.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, you know what we should do? So you want to watch a certain episode with me, but we have to watch the Rebel News interview with Chris Sky if you haven't seen it already.
I don't think I've seen it.
Oh my God. Rebel News changed their stripes, man. Like, it's sad. Like I liked Rebel News. I followed them since 12,000 subscribers, right? Like I was like in grade 9 or something. It was ridiculous. And then like I heard a lot about like, oh, like watch this interview. Like it's hard to watch, right? And I'm like, whoa, like what happened? And man, like David Menzies, man, he was on there and he was just grilling Chris Sky. Like it was hard to watch. And the craziest thing is I've met David Menzies like in person, and I got like, you know, he was a pretty good guy, whatever. Like I got interviewed by him a couple times as well, like back in university for like another separate issue. And then now I'm just like, no way. Like, come on, guys, got to be better than this. We should watch it. It
sounds good, man. We can actually do a reaction thing like that, because some of the people that are in your chat, they're always in my chat too, but some of them were actually on the panel and watching in real time. And they come from America, they come from Holland, they come from let's say France, Australia. They come from everywhere. Like that's it. You like whatever happened in Canada, South Park is going to have to change that song "Blame Canada" to like something else, because now it's like Canada up their game. I'm going to hit you, ceiling. Freedom Net. Hello, sir. How are you doing, or ma'am? Yeah, but like we can do that. Honestly, Monday 12 I'll get set up. We can do that. That sounds like honestly fun. Okay. But who is Fat Steven? I am a YouTuber. I'm the one that was getting streams out, doing reaction and commentary while restreaming other people on the ground in Ottawa. So I technically am like the holocron library of footage that might have been deleted or removed. But you came out of here with more confidence.
Who
You came
did?
out of Ottawa. You did.
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I wouldn't say more confidence. It's just more like know-how. I wouldn't say I was either confident or not confident before. I was just kind of going about my business, just like whatever. And then now I'm just like, oh, like I know this and that. Like I'm a little more like I would say the biggest advantage, like statistically, of going to Ottawa was like meeting the streamers. Like that was like so eye-opening to me. Like obviously I went there for the experience of the convoy.
I thought you went there for the free food.
I was just so glad that too. But I was just so glad that I met them because like, you know, the conversations that I had with them were just like so enlightening, and I'm just like, whoa, like this is like so much information that I would have like had to find out the hard way on my own. But back to your point previously about the people who were complaining about the super chats. It's funny because when I was talking to Vidstorm for the first time, he was telling me that there was a guy that like tried to shut
that's the same. That's the same guy who I was streaming. Then I stopped. I know exactly who he's talking about. I know the channel because I heard him live. I hate him so much for this guy at the city. But literally, the guy Vidstorm was talking about, I was restreaming him when he said that. And I was like, bro, I am doing commentary and reaction. You better come at me with your copyright because I got you live recorded.
All right. So to my next point. So basically, I said to Vidstorm, like, okay, like, damn, who is this? Because, like, you know, I need to watch out for them. And he's like, no, I'm not going to tell you his name, right? So I messaged him privately, and I was like, I think because the one clue he gave me is, like, he has around 10,000 subscribers. So I'm like, oh, I know who it is. And then I messaged him. I'm like, hey, like, you know, I'm just messaging you privately to, like, follow up, whatever.
I wrote it in the private chat. Is that because that you can also copy that link and put it in your private chat so people can find my channel, but it ends with that word, right?
No, I thought.
Oh, then there was two. Then there was two.
I thought it was something. So I initially thought that it was Stunt Dummy. I'm just gonna put it out.
Oh no, Stunt Dummy's cool, man. Like we were watching him.
Because the thing is that, like, you know, I had thought, because it's like, you know, he's around 10,000 subscribers, and then you know, he's kind of this guy that, like, he streams, but like he's a ghost. Like nobody actually met him, and I'm like, okay, I gotta meet this guy. So I met him once. What's that?
He was at Coventry when all the cruisers and trucks were there, and the police officers at the top of the intersection, because we were watching it, said, "Okay, but you have to get over there." And he walked down the street, and after a little talking and stuff, he tried to go back up the way he came, and one of the officers tried to start following him down, and then bumping him, and tried to say, "Hey, we're going to arrest you with obstruction of justice," and then he cut his sentence off, and Dummy's thing was, because I actually have a super chat him a bunch of times, like, hey, bro, I've been restreaming you, but I'm giving you credit. He's like, his problem was people restreaming him and people thinking they're actually asking Stunt Dummy a question, but they weren't getting a reply because it wasn't Stunt Dummy. So that's, I think, where he was saying. He has no problem as long as he's giving credit, but the problem was people were trying to have a conversation with him, but they think they're talking to him, but it's not him, and they're not getting an answer.
Okay.
And they might get someone else answer. Yeah. I have that on the feed too somewhere. So yeah, I was everywhere. I was literally everywhere on you streamers. Like I was like that toilet paper stuck on your shoe, but not as disgusting. That was the worst analogy I could have used. That was really bad.
You're freaking funny, man. I think you should do comedy or something after this.
I do. I actually have multiple personalities. Not the syndrome. Not the disorder.
Okay, because
it's not like I wake up in bed and say, "Who am I going to fight with today?" It's not. No. But Stunt Dummy was down there for one thing, and he was there at Coventry when the police were raided, when they were taking the fuel. He is a good dude. He is a good dude. My favorite part of watching him was one night where he was like, some cops in a cruiser came up to him. He's like, he thought he heard gay horn. And I'm like, why do I want a gay horn? What do you mean? He's like, no, stay warm. And then they went off, and I'm like, that was weird.
Okay, I understand. Interesting. You know what? I'm looking in the private chat right now, and I just figured out now who you're talking about. Because I
Now do you know? Now, because he has two other words in front of his name, right? But when I came, like, I literally walked in and he starts, they're going to be taking my super chats and they're not even giving this, and I'm like, all right, I'm out, and I went to go find
So,
someone else.
the interesting thing about that guy is that he started late, and I think it's kind of easy to tell when somebody starts late that they're in it for the money, because it's like if you're starting late, one of the more likely reasons is that you're seeing everybody else's success and you're like, damn, I want some of that.
That was it though. I had a lot of battles with trolls in my chat. That was one thing. I'm not political. I hate politics. I hate politicians. Sorry, not sorry. I think it's soul sucking nonsense. But Ottawa was, if you got rid of politicians and politics about this stuff and just looked at people coming together and embracing how humanity can be as strong as hell when they believe in something, that is what caught my eye. And you streamers were showing that. And did you get in the bouncy house at all? Did you jump in the bouncy house at all?
I never even saw a bouncy house in
Dude, you missed the Minions bouncy house. They had bouncy houses everywhere. There was street hockey being played. They had everyone signing that cup.
I should have partook in that. And so many people were like, oh, Chris, I need to find you a Patriot girlfriend. I was like, oh my God. Like, I'm going to hit all my bases when I'm coming here. I'm going to get the subscribers. I'm going to get the food. And I'm going to get the Patriot girlfriend. Boom. I'm going to leave a complete man. That was freaking funny. Like, it's honestly so much better than I would ever expected when I went there. Like, the people were just, I even had a comment saying, and actually it was by Captain Greg yesterday, I loved this idea. We should all just gather those people who are like interested in the convoy and make our own city.
No, I am not making it Chaz. What you guys should do is try to group up when you all have time and have a round table about your experiences in Ottawa live.
Wouldn't that be like hard?
You can have up to, I think, 6 or 7 people on your StreamYards at once. If they all have free time, you set it up, and I think you discuss how you guys met, what inspired you guys to go down. People need more human interest stories. They need more real people just talking, having a discussion. If you can treat your chat the way you talk to your neighbor or your brother or sister, the more they will feel appreciated, because your chat makes your channel. A channel is an extension of you. It is part of you. It is your personality.
Yeah.
You want to be as real as possible online as you are, like, say, if the screen wasn't in front of you. Your chat are the ones that are going to connect to you because they all have something they're listening to or something that has caught them. The moment you're focusing on the super chats or the highlighted messages for the amount of money there, you're not getting it. And that doesn't mean just with streamers here in Ottawa. It means any streamers across the board. Arwen is my mod, and it was also vouched for other people that were modding in my chat. Every time someone donated, I'm like, you don't have to. You can give to the truckers. I'm not here for money. And I said that numerous times, but then eventually I got yelled at. Just be humble. People want to donate to you because you're helping them find other channels. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll stop. I'll go back to the buffet line and guard the chicken balls, and I'll be happy. I'll be down there. But it's
interesting that you mentioned that with the whole like people focusing on the super chats, because Jeff from Travel Fund 69, I originally like had a really bad
interaction.
Not interaction, but like I had like a really bad perception of him at the beginning, and a lot of people were like agreeing with me on that. So I'm like, oh, like what is it about this guy, right? And so I was kind of like, I wasn't talking crap about him on the stream or anything, but I was just kind of like, well, this is like really strange. Like, why does he feel the need every single time he gets a super chat to like show that? Because I realized this later after I talked to him, and he's just like, you know, he's a nice guy and everything, and like he's like, and that in his mind was him trying to appreciate the people who gave the money. But to everyone else, to most people, it just seems like he's like after the money only because he's like focusing on it so much. Like he's talking to somebody. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, he was talking to me and like mid conversation. Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, thank you, Steven Seagal, for that chat. Oh, thank you. And then, oh, Chris, you were saying, it's like, come on, man. Like, what are you doing? So then I was like,
everyone has a different format. Everyone has what I was trying to differentiate is when you're only focusing on the people who super chat and reading their messages aloud. Here, I'm going to show you a trick. Move your mouse over to Roger Kelly. See where it says the money, and click on it with your mouse. Now watch a trick. Click on
Wait, hold on. So say that again.
go to comments. You see how you see your comments going, right?
Yeah.
Now click on Roger Kelly where it says the money. Now watch this. You can actually highlight people's comments in StreamYard.
Whoa. Okay, I feel like I've.
So if they ever have a question now, you can actually highlight it, and then you click on it, and it will go away. I'll teach you a bunch of this stuff later on as you go on.
Damn, that's so cool, man. Oh, see, this is the reason why I love talking to YouTubers so much, because I just like, you always got to be around people smarter than yourself if you want to learn something.
And I think, and I think support freedom. He's not bashing Jeff. I think it was a misconception of how first interactions can throw off a perception of people, especially with people that don't understand YouTube or understand how it works, and they think it's like, why isn't my remote working on this channel? Why is he not turning up the volume? Why can't you show me more of the other protests? I'm like, bro, calm the hell down. The YouTuber owns the channel. You decided to come there. You don't get to dictate what's shown. And I had people in my chat on Facebook sending me articles, sending me video feeds, sending me clips of things that just went down, and I was trying to get on as fast as possible. But Jeff is very positive. He's very enlightening. His voice is very broadening. You can pick him out of a crowd.
Oh, and for sure.
And I think what Jeff was trying to do is, when he saw a super chat, he was showing his face and he was saying thank you, like as an eye contact, thank you, of appreciation. And Jeff, he did great. Ottawa Scotty was great too, especially when he was driving around the truck trying to find out where they were setting up next. Where are those 1,800 police officers? And
I never met him. I wanted to, but I heard everyone said he was just like so fast, and I'm just like, holy crap, this guy. I watched one of his streams and he's just running. Like, what is going? But again, everyone has their own style. Like,
Easy TV. I'm gonna say this, and this is, I'm not shit talking. I'm sorry, I'm for swearing, but I'm not shit talking any creators here. But as an opinion here with Zod, he's also, there's been US truckers who are like, hey, I would love to talk to Zod, and I'm hearing things like, well, they get a reply email back saying, let's make a deal. And honestly, as much as your success on YouTube might have been grand during the Ottawa protests, you can't don't let the celebrity idea go to your head. Everyone else around me grew. I was just happy I went from 1,000 to almost 4,500. But I don't take it for granted. YouTube punishes me daily like it punishes you. But when you start making about like you're some type of superior being, even because I don't know if it's him or his sister doing it, but the whole interview aspect that was good about him seems to be deterred by how an ego seems to be in place. And this isn't a shit talk. It's a perspective moment. You got to keep yourself not only humble and grounded, you got to realize that viewers won't be there forever.
Mm-hmm.
You might be the hot ticket at the moment, but you are not the hot ticket for eternity. And if you forget that, if you forget who you are, why are you on YouTube or Twitch or anything? Because then you're just lying to people. And I'm saying this as a retrospect, not shit talking.
So to back that up, do you want to hear one of my two interactions I had with the Zot channel?
Sure.
I was actually rubbed quite the wrong way, and like, I don't know if I caught them at like a horrible moment, but like the first time, like I see Zot, right? I see the green pants. I'm like, oh, I know it's him.
I never saw his pants, so I didn't know he had green pants.
Yeah, he has lime green pants, like really bright, and I'm like, oh, okay, like I know how to pick him out from a crowd. So I went and I talked, and I'm like, hey, like Zot, what's up, man? And like this was when the whole Fed situation was going on, right? So it's like, ask for their badge number or whatever. So I like jokingly go up to him. I'm like, hey, like, you don't look like a Fed, do you? Or like,
that was the other rumor. Yeah, everyone's calling him a Fed. And I'm like,
yeah, and I just kind of jokingly, hey man, what's up? And he's like, hey, no, yeah, what's up, man, and all this stuff. And like, I was just like, hey, like, how's it going, whatever. and he's like, "Hey, sorry, man. Like, I really want to talk to you, but like, I'm just so cold," and he just runs away, and I'm like, okay, interesting. That was an experience. And then there was one really early morning.
Hold on, you're getting exclusive right now because I usually get scammers and people in my chat that are watching you guys right now. Hold on.
Please hold while you are being transferred.
This is exclusive for you. Hello. Hello.
Oh,
Yes,
God.
hello.
You got the Discover card? Oh damn! I didn't even get past them swearing at me. They hung up. Sorry. Sorry. They call when I'm live, and I usually I will mute the stream and I'll start doing this. Yesterday, some guy from duck claiming was saying I'm gonna F you, F your mom, and all that stuff. I'm like, oh, that's nice. You're not gonna sell duck
No
claiming that
way.
way.
Come
Yeah.
on. Really?
Yeah. Look, they're all laughing right now. Yeah.
Oh, that's brutal. That's you know,
It's
so
false. But what you're saying is that like he was wearing his green pants and he was like, no, not a Fed and all that stuff. Like that was going on every
so
stream.
anyways, yeah, he just ran away and he didn't really want to talk to me, which I'm like, okay, whatever, like you do you, whatever. But then I met his sister, and like it was like really early
Charlotte,
5:30 in the morning, yeah, and she was like the only one out, right? And then everyone was like, oh, like go talk to Zoddy, and I'm like, all right, whatever, I guess I should, right? You know, we're the only ones on the streets, for God's sake. So I go up to her, I'm like, hey, like you must be Zot's sister, and she just totally ignores me. Like she just walks away, and I'm just like, she's like, no, no. I'm like, okay, and like she just walks away, and I'm like, what was that? Like, what did I do? Anyways, it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. It's like, you know, every other streamer was just like, yo, what's up, man? You're another streamer. Like, it doesn't even matter if you have like 0 subscribers or 100,000. They'll treat you the same way, right? But another interesting thing I noticed is like, Zot was very focused on like the trucker interviews and all that. And like, he didn't really.
Yeah, he was good at that. He got to know Eric and Shaba and Christian very well. And honestly, Eric was heartbreaking.
My point in that was that he didn't really focus on the ground aspect where everyone else was, you know, and meeting the other streamers in the streets. But now, after the fact, now that the convoy is not in Ottawa anymore, now he's having like Travel Fund 69 and live on the shed and everybody on the show, and it's just like, oh, now you care what everyone else.
No. I don't think I understand where you're coming from, but I think the way it was is like he was seeing these adults stand for something and he didn't understand yet. That's why he wanted to talk to Eric and Shaba and Christian, because I think a lot of people wanted to know why the truckers parked their car for 3 weeks there, or their truck there for 3 weeks. They wanted to know. And I think Zot nailed that perspective very well because he had that innocence about him where he was still learning. He was still trying to figure out what is going on attached to a phone. So it might have thrown other people off because it's hard to see the mindset. I try to see things on multiple spectrums, right? Because like I'm Libra, for those who want to know. Yeah, I'm the scale. I try to see what's going on the left and what's going on the right side of a story being told, because the truth always has this side, that side, and then the middle, which is the congruency of both sides. But I think Zot really was able to show what the truckers were talking about and why they were doing this. Christian, especially with his passion for his family. Eric, when he had to leave, because it wasn't the fact he wanted to leave, it was the fact that they were threatening to cancel the driving insurance, cancel the funding, and freeze the accounts for 55 other families. And that was hard on Eric because a lot of them promised to be there till the end. So Zod had a good perspective. He had a way of getting the truckers, I guess, to talk, because Eric would have people constantly coming up, Christian and Shaba too. But at the same time, you have to remember also that you had different age groups in there, different experience levels in there. And I'm not saying you're wrong for having that perception, because the first encounters will always be hit or miss.
Yeah.
But he gave something a lot of people weren't really getting at the time. The same way you talking to people and roaming around because your innocence in yourself being new to like streaming and just showing what's going on and having like 4,000 people watching you, and it's blowing your mind at the same time because all you're doing is holding a camera and they're thanking you. You can't process why. It's you all gave something that another streamer probably didn't have. That's why I'm saying all you guys became a family in a way, even if you don't see it. And like from my point of view, this is gonna sound kind of cheesy, but me watching all you guys, we're streaming every day. Like everyone can vouch how my content changed. How I was doing it every day, 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours, 11 hours. I was constant. I felt like I was down there with you guys.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I got to know all of y'all, but you all added something. You guys developed a routine schedule for who's going live and who isn't. You guys developed a business ethic at the same time, make sure everything was being covered. You had each other's backs. You can't tell me you guys didn't develop not only a brother-sisterhood relationship, you developed a confidence level of knowing who to trust and who is there for something greater. And it's not propping anyone up. It's saying it's so simple that people sometimes miss it. And you guys deserve that respect. But at the same time, like we've been talking like with the Zot and stuff, you don't abuse that respect. Don't monetize that respect. Be humble. Because the moment you lose that humbleness, you've already lost yourself. Because if you're looking at how many people in your chat will buy you your next iPhone, from my point of view, I'm saying this as an example. You've already gone down a road where you're the only one who can fix that. But once the viewers unsubscribe, you don't have them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's always the reality.
Take it into account that we have Bacon Ranch in the chat. Big shout out to him.
Who's Bacon Ranch?
He's another streamer. You don't know about him?
I don't think I caught Bacon Ranch. I tried to get almost everyone, and I couldn't find everyone. But hey, Bacon Ranch, you're also welcome to give me your experiences if you were down there. And we watched live. We watched. I even downloaded Zot's last video when he got arrested. And he actually was asked a couple times not to go in that way, and he got himself arrested. We could see it.
Oh, that freaked me out, man. Because so that morning I came out and I was like, oh, like where are the police now? Because I know that the police line was like going crazy the night before.
He wasn't at a police line. He was filming the cars. And what happened? Yeah, sorry.
I know, but it's coming from the perspective of me going from Quebec, my Airbnb there, and I was like, I have no idea what to expect. And people in the chat, as I was walking, are like, yo, like, turn around, go home. And it was freaking me out because I'm like, obviously not. I was
yelling at you too. I was yelling at you too, dude.
But I was getting calls from everybody, get out of there, get out of there. And then like next thing I know, they're like, yo, find this street because, Lori and Nicholas or whatever, because that's where the tow trucks are coming in. And Zot got there before me, and they're like, yo, Zot got arrested. And I'm like, holy crap, like, is this real? Is this actually happening? And so I was freaked out because I was like, oh man.
I downloaded the full stream of YouTube of Zot's stream before of the arrest, like all the hours ahead of time. I nailed it before it went private, just in case anyone ever needed proof. I had everything else to back them remote. But yeah, it was getting crazy. Prince, people were warning because they wanted you out of there. They didn't want to see you end up like we're seeing other people with that the class action lawsuit. Like, dude, you have to keep that in the back of your head. If they want to come after you for that class action lawsuit just because you're a streamer, dude, yeah, I was thinking about that all the time. All your streamers were in that jeopardy. But the one thing that I will say is as another retrospective opinion that kind of I didn't agree with is the whole we're down here reporting the truth. That statement that came out across a lot was like the way to like show what's really going on was also could have been a lot of streamers' downfall. Because when you start saying we're here to streaming the truth, it developed a certain sense of ego and thinking it would protect you. It wouldn't. And it wasn't always like flagrantly out there. But some moments I was like, ooh, I'm glad I'm not there right now. And I'm like sitting there in my Cheetos going, oh, hope you don't get hit with a billy club. There was a whole bunch of moments. And you guys didn't know about Windsor. You didn't see what was happening in Windsor. You guys didn't see what's happening in Coots or or Surrey, BC. Like, you guys were down there, but the Windsor wasn't part of you guys. It was inspired. I think the same thing with Surrey, BC. You like his one of the interviews with Viva Frey said that they weren't part of you guys. Ottawa was its own separate entity.
Okay.
But I'm sorry, I'm probably blowing your mind because you'll have to actually go watch through everything. Like one day I've got to set like a 7-day stream of nothing but people yelling about freedom and no shirts and fuel jerry cans and all this stuff.
I'm just really curious about that statement about, the whole reporting the truth thing. I don't understand.
You didn't hear that?
I don't understand your perspective on that.
Okay, let's just say this. I'm down here to report the truth. And if you constantly say a phrase, is it actually the truth or the perspective of the camera? And if you start thinking that, like, you know what I mean? Like it's like a phrase like to serve and protect. How long before the serve and protect becomes nothing more than a phrase on a badge rather than a meaning behind the words? It's like when someone calls you a misogynist, you use it so much, eventually the power of the word's gone. You can report the truth, but at the same time, the truth is up to the person perceiving what they are seeing, hearing, and reading.
That's right.
And I think some people kind of took that phrase as an ego or a shield, but it wasn't actually an ego or a shield. It was something that could hurt them by how they acted, thinking within those lines. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sort of. I'm just kind of like, I think it's the perspective of like, nobody else is out here and everyone is cherry picking certain moments that fits their narrative. So we're just going to film everything. And that's the truth, right? It's just what's happening. So I think that was sort of the aim of that. But I see where you're coming from.
Yeah. I was at FF, and it goes to your It can, some things can go to your head even if you don't realize it's happening. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm thinking some people, like, it comes back to the humbleness thing. I'm not condescending here. I want people to understand that I'm saying this as what I watch, because I watch different personalities across the board, and there was a lot more good done than bad. And the way Parliament was talking about the truckers, the way mainstream was blatantly saying a narrative that was not there. They were all focusing on how the citizens of Ottawa were being besieged and tortured and all this stuff. There wasn't enough paperwork or proof to back it up. I can't deny it wasn't there. But when you're seeing thousands of people jumping up and down or doing conga lines in minus 30 weather, that is a more powerful weapon than just calling someone a white supremacist. I'm sorry, it is.
So I want to ask you this because I sort of am having the same opinion as you as far as politics goes. I'm really, my whole attitude towards politics is just aversion. I'm not a huge fan of it. I think it just is soul sucking, exactly like you said. And I think, aside from, once I finish these Convoy interviews, I'm probably just going to go back to not being political at all, just because this, can sometimes be really draining. So I want to ask you why or what, I guess, compelled you to get into restreaming and to covering the Convoy.
Well, just because you cover this Convoy or stream, now you're not political. You're not. Do you vote left or right?
I see. That's the thing. I would say otherwise because you're exposing yourself to that.
No.
Because I wouldn't even watch like news before this, right?
Neither did I. I haven't turned on my TV for news in almost 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's just it. I've had people in my chat trying to claim I'm alt right, alt left, or I'm a libertarian, all this stuff, or I'm an a politic. I'm like, I'm none of those. I don't give a crap about politics. I don't care. You can be left, all right. I don't care. That's your choice. I don't care. Take that away. Human beings lived before politics. Think about that. If you start thinking from that perspective, looking how people are dropping all their, whether it be prejudices or I don't know feelings, and just there to celebrate and stand for Canada or stand for something that everyone believes in that causes hope, that's not politics. When they're trying to put politics on it, or they're trying to put politics on you, they're trying to put you in a side because their minds are unable or incapable of understanding that you can see both sides of a coin and not have to choose a side. And that's the thing, though. That's what mediators are there for. Why do we have mediators who have to make it fair for both parties or whatever, how many parties, but they have to stay unbiased? I try to stay as unbiased as possible. I had people coming to my chat saying, well, you're a fence sitter then. I'm like, how am I a fence sitter? Well, fence sitters are as bad as communists. I'm like, how is me seeing both sides of a story going on, whether it's Ottawa citizens or protesters, worse than communism, when I'm trying to respect both stories because I don't have enough information? It was weird for those weeks. You had a lot of people that are like, well, you're this and you're that and you're this and you're that. I'm like, good for you, but I have
mostly ignore them though.
Yeah, I do, or block them. But I have a saying: if someone is trying to tell you who you are, why the F are you talking to them? Because the only person you know is yourself, because you wake up and go to sleep with yourself every night and every morning, right? Anyone you meet at a first-time basis trying to label you, they don't deserve the time of day, because they already refuse to listen because they're already trying to put a label on you. We don't live by labels. We live by the names our parents give us.
So
I don't walk around and be called, hey, fat Steven misogynist. Sorry. I'm like, but come on, man. It's like, I will be now to be known as racist meat popsicle. You know, like it's yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Well. My point in all that was that I was actually the same with that. So originally I went down there, and obviously, you're just there to document. You're the guy with the camera, right? But it's impossible. You can't do it. Like, I'm there,
really,
and I'm just like, I'm seeing the emotion. I'm feeling like the positivity. I'm feeling the energy there. I'm talking. I'm interacting to people, and then you become emotionally connected to the movement, and you become connected to people there and everything. So I feel like it's impossible to go there and report and not have a perspective. And on the opposite side, if a person who doesn't agree with the movement whatsoever is going to walk up and down the street, they're going to have that anger build up inside of them, and they're going to have the urge to film something that will make them look bad. And for me, the opposite. I'm going to have the urge to film the best absolute parts and document that. And post those as clips. So I feel like, going into this convoy with the mentality that I'm going to remain neutral, it'll only last so long. That's my point in all that.
So I got a contradiction then. Do you know who Pat King is, right?
Yeah.
All right, and you've seen the clips of how it can be taken different ways, of how like he can be considered a white supremacist or part of this shit. So if Pat King believes in the truckers and his etiquette from those video clips, does that mean you're siding with his stuff that people are trying to say, whether it's white supremacist or anything? You going down and filming the truckers to see what's going on after Trudeau labeled them misogynist, racist, and white supremacists, does that make you one of those three labels either? Does that make you politically against him, or does that mean that someone's just name calling? If you're going down there to feel the energy or to experience the emotion, you're getting wrapped up in people just coming together. Where is the political in that?
I'm not really understanding your question.
I'm sorry.
Are you saying that if someone is partaking in the convoy, then we should paint them all with the same brush? Is that what you're trying?
Yeah, I'm saying that like everyone was trying to broad stroke stuff. That's why they're doing with the Pat King clips and other stuff. Like I'll let you know something. There was people on Twitter I was watching who were like, anyone who wasn't Canadian shouldn't be talking about this Canadian convoy. It's saying like anything like if you're American, you don't understand, you should butt the hell out. Or they were trying to blame Americans for the Ottawa protest and all that stuff. Okay. What I'm saying is, just because you went down there to stream and you wanted to experience the energy and see the people and interview them, where is the political nature in that?
I think that just by virtue of the fact that you're there and you're like interacting with the people and you're engaging with the people sort of shows, indirectly what you think and where your loyalties lie. I remember I was talking to Ottawax and he put it in a great way that, I asked him point blank on camera, hey, like, what do you feel about this whole convoy movement? And maybe it was sort of an innocent question to ask because I'm not really sure what answer I really expected, like for him to say, yes, absolutely I do, right on camera. But he basically just said, like, well, by virtue of the fact I'm here, that should tell you how I feel about this. And I thought that was a great statement because it's really true. Like, think about it. For a person who is even like, somewhat on the left, they're not going to go there. And even if they just want to document it, right?
Quickly, two things, because I want to say something in the chat. Thank you for correcting supremacist. I'm sorry. I'm slurring my words. It's sorry. And secondly, Mike says Fat Steven Seagal just equals just bullshit. Well, thank you so much.
I don't know.
Who are you? It's in the chat. I'm laughing.
Oh,
yeah. Thanks, Mike. Someone I don't know.
Bacon Ranch also had a good comment here. I like
one
that.
person doesn't define a group. Exactly. That's it. And they were trying to label the fact that that's what's going on with news right now because of the Pat Kings or the PPC and that whole like wanting to separate from Canada stuff going like on the West, like whatever that stuff is. I didn't care about that. But people were trying to say, well, then you agree with it. And I'm like, no. That's what they're trying to do though. Like with the Coots thing and the whole the arms that were found. They were trying to paint over everything that was supposed to be an insurrection. Like, were you down there to film an insurrection? Were you down there to film the truckers and what was going on in the protests? And then you have overthrow the government and stuff like that. It's.
But here's the reason I don't like politics nowadays is because, first of all, politics has morphed into a different beast as it was even just 5 years ago. Totally, totally different now. Like, imagine, like, I'm not sure how old you are, but I remember specifically like the inauguration of like, Obama. I was watching that in the gymnasium in like elementary school. And I thought like, oh, cool, whatever. Like there was like a massive difference in politics back then. It was none of the virtue signaling, any of this like race stuff. Like, I feel like, I don't know, it's just changed to be dirtier, if you know what I'm saying.
Technically, though, they were like, "Oh, we have our first black president, Hercules." It was like Nutty Professor. That was pretty much like everything, right? They're like, "Oh, we got our first black president," just like when Hillary was up for election. It was like, "Hey, we're getting our first woman president." I'm like they did make a virtue signaling out of it, but it's a lot worse now, I think, with virtue signaling and the fact that we're focusing on the minority or how you sexually identify or your pronouns. And I'm like, at the end of the day, you still have a first name. We're going to call you by your first name. Go, hey, your name's Jim, he, him, her, it. Like, nobody, that's not how you interact with people.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's like, I can't even partake in it now because it's just like, it's mind boggling. And the thing is, it's not even just that it's gotten dirtier. It's like the absolute savageness of it and the anger that comes with it. Like, there is more division now than ever. Like everybody's divided. The thing is, beforehand, it was already bad enough with this whole white, black, this, that, religion, not religion, like all of this different, poor, rich, like whatever. Now you have the medical apartheid as well with the non-vaccinated, vaccinated, and they hate each other too. So it's just like, you can't win.
Well, you're never going to win, especially when it's YouTube. And honestly, there's a difference between having an opinion of someone than it automatically being resentment. Criticism is not harassment. Criticism is supposed to help you find where your faults are and help you figure out where to improve. And I'm saying that to someone who thinks that I don't think it's resentment. I think it's the actions outweigh the words. And if a person's actions outweigh the words of what they're saying, then yes, people are going to start having a judgmental factor. It doesn't matter who you are. And that's the thing, though. Like, they were saying that there was Nazi flags and Confederate flags everywhere. I hardly saw any. There was a Trump flag too that was like taken of a picture like way down an alleyway that was on the back of a pickup truck. We were seeing all this stuff coming out of like CBC, CTV, and it was crazy. They were just trying to apply all these titles to everyone, streamers and too. And I was just like, you do realize, like, and when Sean Hannity came down, when that reporter came down, I don't know if you remember that, right? But Sean Hannity,
Sarah Carter was her name.
Yeah.
She came down and with Fox.
Yeah. And guess what? She was standing there trying not to break into smile, but they sang the national anthem for Canada, and then they sang the U.S. anthem right after.
Okay.
And you had Fox News just down there, just giving a first eye view. You had other news, I think, like Reuters down there. Even you ran into, was it you that ran into the Swiss newspaper? Yeah, I
that
watched
was
that too.
cool.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. She was very nice. And then, but you have CBC who was down there hiding all their identification. When they're asked if they're CBC, they're just shaking their heads no. But you can hear them snickering as they're walking away. So the fact that CBC has to hide their stuff means that they already know what they've been capable of, and that's why they don't feel comfortable enough to be around them, because they are not what news was. You guys, there was so much going on, but like supposedly crime was down 90% with the truckers there. That's what they were saying. The homeless were being fed, mittens were given out, and like that's awesome. I just don't. I think everyone's so quick to find an enemy because they don't know what to do if there was none, and it's just the broad stroking needs to stop.
You should frame that and put it up on your wall or something. That's a good quote. Everyone, because I feel like with the first world, it's just one of those like hashtag first world problems or whatever. Like, you know, like it's just like, what are you doing? You're just looking for an excuse to complain about something. Like, we all have life really, really good, like comparatively to other people in the world. I feel like, you know, there's not too much things that we should be complaining about and, you know, focusing on who to hate next. You know, it should be just like bliss. But I just, human nature, man, very strange.
I think honestly, whatever, if you were down the protests or watching with Ottawa when you got to the weekends, it turned into like Canada Day in the winter, and I think that whole energy, that positive energy, that's the thing that should be maintained throughout whatever the streamers do next. At all, even the people watching, maintain that positivity. Find that one memory of one of those streams you watched, and when you're having a bad day, think about it and see if it just like lightens up your day. That kind of stuff is needed a lot more, because I think people are really sick of fear. They're really sick of waiting when the next day was going to be either another mandate or another lockdown or another restriction. People just want to go to the bar with their friends and their family, have a plate of nachos and a beer, and chill the hell out. They want to go to sushi bars. They want to go to the theaters. They want the ability to just go out of their house and not see some person pointing at them like Invasion of the Body Snatchers because they think you're not living by the guidelines of whatever they're fearful of. Like, you can't just keep making enemies of people anymore. It doesn't work. People are not going to be afraid. People are waking up. People want to live their life, because life is too short to hunker down in a bunker surrounded by cement waiting on a government paycheck. And speaking for me, who lives on a disability paycheck,
I was gonna say,
I would have been down there in a second if I could. I also was taking care of my dad because he still is in a wheelchair, who's just getting back to standing recently. So I have more responsibilities as a son to my dad than I do going down to a protest trying to film the truth, because I can't.
Yeah.
None of us had that ability.
It would have been cool to have you out there, though. That would have been cool.
I would have loved to. Honestly, if I could have pulled it off like the Sheldon Cooper, just had like a monitor with a camera on a wheels that were remote controlled from across the, from Ontario, I would have done that in a heartbeat.
But yeah, I mean, oh my God, like it's just crazy. I can't even believe that any of that happened. Like, I look back sometimes and, just like, whoa, was I actually there? Did those things happen? Like, did I just like do like a mail run with War Campaign and just like,
you did
all these trucks parked on the street and like get free food for 2 weeks and just talk to like people from all over the country? Like, did that really happen, or was that a dream? Like, it's just crazy to me. Like, that's never going to happen again in my lifetime, I don't think.
But while you're saying this, do you realize you're smiling and you don't regret that everything that happened?
Oh, come on. I mean, like, I don't think, like, no way would it ever be in a negative connotation. Like, I don't think, like, that's amazing. Why would you think I would be negative about that? Come on.
No, I don't. I'm saying, like, you don't even realize you're smiling, like and you're smiling, like your mannerisms. You're smiling.
Oh, I see.
There's no regret. There's no regret, and that's awesome. It's like, it's like when you go to prom, like, oh God, who did I sleep with last night? Oh my God, please tell me you have less hooves.
That's another point. Many people didn't even have prom, so
no, neither did I. No, I was kicked out. I was kicked out before I could graduate. And
Wait, what?
I lived in shelters. I lived on the street. I have literally been. I know what it's like to have nothing, and I know what it's like to appreciate what the minimal you have. And honestly, it sounds weird. Food, internet, and a roof over my head is all I care about. That's simple things.
And Fat Steven Seagal.
Well, Fat Steven Seagal actually was a parody account because a lot of people. I don't know if you guys anyone here is pop culture Star Wars fans. The original name was Fat Steven Seagal beat up Ryan Johnson because everyone knows what Ryan Johnson did to The Last Jedi, that stuff. Not trying to cause another world war in the chat, but from there, that's how the name got started. And it was like, yeah, there's even like a parody account by Perry Chan where he did a video of me beating up Ryan Johnson. Yeah. When I said my content took a full 180 or 360, it did. It went from gaming to covering you guys, and then from you guys, it went to the People's Convoy in the U.S. And I'm just trying to do my best.
So did you have a lot of really angry people in the beginning when you did the pivot to the Freedom Convoy?
No.
Really?
Every person that has known me from now, whether I consider them an online family member, friend, or whatever, I hate compliments. I really do. I don't know why it is. I just really hate compliments or anyone to say I'm proud of you. A lot of people supported me. A lot of people had my back, asked if I need anything, let me know. And I have never had more support from people that aren't family in my life, not even my real brothers. And from then on in, it gave me a drive that I don't want to lose. I don't think it's over.
You get hooked on it. It's like, whoa, like what did I discover? You just kind of, it's like the treasure hidden under the sand. X marks the spot. You just kind of like, whoa, I stumbled upon something here, and you don't want to let it go. Like YouTube is like a brilliant thing. Like that's why when I came home from the convoy, one of my biggest fears was being shut down and, getting that call from the government, like, yo, you got to take your stuff,
Well, I want to answer Amy's question because I think it's actually satirical or it's a joke. No, I don't know if you were here earlier. I was a bike messenger in Toronto. Those courier guys running around on a bike, delivering packages and all that stuff. I'll lay this out here. It was 9 a.m. in the morning. I was about to deliver a package. A guy opened his driver's side door into me. This is a pedal bike. So when I hit that door so hard, not only did I rip the driver's side door off one of the hinges, I went airborne 30 feet, landed chin first on a manhole cover, ripping the skin down to the bone, shattering my lower gums, just shattering 2 teeth, herniating my spine. And from then on in, I've been dealing with PTSD with certain vehicles. But I don't usually share that much about it because I don't want people to think that is a grab for attention and sympathy. Because guess what? All of the things I've been through, whether it's being homeless or being in shelters or the courier accidents, I've been hit by 16 cars in my lifetime being a messenger because people are stupid. I don't want people to think I'm using that for sympathy or for anything. It has made me who I am today.
Was all that in Toronto?
Yeah. Toronto cab drivers are nuts. I'm about to tell you something like that. Yeah.
That's
I was
crazy.
there.
Because I've, like you already know I'm from Mississauga, right? And I think everyone in the chat knows that. And there's horrible drivers over here too, but I've never been hit by a car. Like 16 times, man. That's a lot.
Yeah. And
what?
Yeah. I look at it this way. I am a mobile hood ornament. That's the way I look at it. I'm like, oh, there's a new car to get. We had a guy down there. His nickname was Porsche, right? Because one day we have a spot where we hung out, right? And this guy was called Porsche. And the reason why we called him Porsche was because one day he was like looking at us and waving, and he didn't realize there was a Porsche in front of him. And he hit the Porsche and did a front roll over the hood onto the back of the car. And then from then on in, he was called Porsche. And I was like, damn, bro. Yeah.
Holy.
Hey, Mike, if you're going to keep Mike, as much as you want to be like condescending and looking for attention from me, it's all good, man. I'm not the one dealing with micropenis syndrome. Sorry,
what?
Chris.
What are you talking about?
I've been hit by 16 cars. Well, you don't. Yeah. Well, because they think it's BS. They think I'm just because they don't see my face. They don't see the spinal X-rays. The people will automatically assume the same.
Just ignore it. Just
Oh, I
ignore
do ignore it. It's really just like the microscope ignores their junk. It's very easy. I'm actually having fun talking to you because, like, honestly, you've been one of the guys that have been very very true to yourself.
Me?
And yeah, you came on by accident. We talked that first time. It was great. I'm trying to get WYSIWYG on for an interview because he's actually in the U.S. convoy. I've done other things before this. Like I've talked to Chuck Dixon, who's the co-creator of the Bane from the Batman comics. I've had people from the Babylon 5 series on. I've done quite a bit, but the streamers in Ottawa has been fantastic. It really is. You especially, you've come a long way from holding a tripod.
I'm never gonna live that down.
No, you're not. You're not. But you've come a long way where people are still here watching and grasping attention. And even with trolls in your chat, I love engaging them for one reason. They're looking for some way to feel superior because something is wrong with their own life. And at the end of the day, talking to a random person in YouTube chat won't fix that because I can still go to sleep fine. They're still going to find another YouTube chat to be condescending. It's great. You're going to get a lot more of that. We all had a lot of it. My mods were on overtime. It was funny. I couldn't pay them. They still just went on strike, but it was all good. Trolls are the best part of the chat. They are. Because there's a saying within YouTube, the more haters you get, the more you're doing things right. And it's a good way to follow.
That's a very interesting quote. I'm not sure where I stand on that, but I am curious about something. So you mentioned the last time you had me on the show is you're the first streamer in Ottawa that I had. So am I still the only streamer that you had on your show so far?
Pretty yeah, you're the only streamer because I know a lot of other ones are busy. Doing? I don't because a lot of them don't know me. They don't know me. Stunt Dummy, I've super chatted and been like, hey, I've been streaming you and giving you credit. Hope that's okay. And he replied back live on the streams. Travel 69, I didn't really watch because some of you guys that had so many followers when streamers were restreaming, depending on the bandwidth, it would literally cause a hiccup or a downgrade in the streams and choppiness. So I had to make sure not only the people who were watching me showing other streamers were out there, I was trying to make sure that it wasn't degrading the content at the same time. That's why I was going to Facebook and TikTok because you had Shots by Hill, who usually only did it on Instagram. And you had people on Facebook from Windsor. Like there's a whole Windsor group, right? And no one was focusing on the people in Windsor. Like there was one person on YouTube one day, I think it was My Zombie Unicorn or Unicorn Zombie. And when Windsor topped off and the kettling came in, it was brutal. And you had cops saying one thing and store owners saying another. They were trying to keep them off the sidewalk. They were branching them in, putting concrete blocks down. Some of the things we saw were just like, you didn't think this was Canada. You would think this was a BLM riot. It was that crazy.
Wow, really?
Holy. Basco, right there in my chat. Good, Red Prince, good to see you again. This guy joined me on a couple of my panels. He's from Quebec, and he was moved by this too, by what you guys did in Ottawa. He started his own show about how things have been going. And
the Basco scenario?
Yeah. He's actually from Quebec. Sorry, I'm not trying to say anything weird, but he was surprised by the amount of fleur-de-lis and Canada flags side by side. You guys didn't know this, right? When you were in Ottawa, right? So when we went to Quebec and we were watching one of the streams from Quebec, they had a dance rave too down there in Quebec, like the nights you did. Yeah, dude, they did. It was great, and it would everywhere was affected. Like look at Calgary and Toronto still having parades, and you have Vancouver, New Zealand. Well, I guess that's over now. New Zealand because it went bad at the end, but everywhere has had inspiration. Look at America, like USA, our neighbors. They like that video shoot. They're thanking Canada for getting it started because someone or some people, a lot of people needed somewhere to look to just have some type of hope in, some type of belief in, some type of faith in. And the truckers seem to be that as it is. It doesn't make them a deity. It makes them or some type of feeling to just whenever you're having a bad day, something to look into and just feel a little bit better. It's simple. And as much as people might think I'm preaching or trying to sound like just give me money, it's not that. People are that freaking simple. Appreciate what you have and what you're seeing. If you're having a bad day, what do? We turn on comedy. We turn on like a cat video. We turn on something that makes us laugh. We try to disengage from the negativity and re-energize. And Ottawa was a big re-energize for a lot of people, me especially. I had a belief in humanity again. And there's not enough thank yous that can ever fix that.
Oh, it's insane. Like honestly, I was telling I was talking about this on a stream the other day, I believe, about just the uniqueness of that convoy, because I've lived beside my neighbor here in Mississauga for like, I don't know, 10 years, right? But I know a person, like Dana Lee, or any of these people who just came up to me and talked to me in the streets of Ottawa that I've known for not even a month, better than my own neighbors, that I live beside, like, some of them my whole life, on the street. So it really is just crazy to me, like the camaraderie and the sense of community at this protest, like never before. It was, like, and another huge thing is not once was there a person walking around like this. No, they were all looking up. Nobody was on their phones. Everybody was, the eye contact with people was great. And they were always like, genuinely interested in you, and genuinely interested in where you came from, what you're about, all this stuff. It's crazy.
Here, I want to give a quick thing. Snoopy on the ground in the chat, right, who's trying to find a way to support you away, because in general, not only was he in my chat talking about stuff, he actually flew down with his daughter, and he was there when they removed the fences respectfully, not tore them down or terrorized. He was down there when they did prayer and they sang national anthem. He went down there, and that dude gets props because he was inspired by being told to come on down and watching all you guys, and he went down there. You guys hit a lot of people, and the ones that are here just to be little shits. I kind of pity you for not understanding or seeing things great. I love chats. I've been doing this for 2 years. You know what? The people who love attention, whether negative or positive, will always live in that mindset. But I got no problem addressing.
Well, speaking of chats, I don't know whether this is a compliment or an insult.
Actually, I was thinking that yesterday. No lie. You look like the younger NSYNC Timberlake hair. Yeah, you do.
What?
Yeah, you do. If you were put a side by side of Timberlake back in NSYNC, you would see the same hair. That's a compliment. That means you're going to grow up to be a sexy Timberlake. So that's good.
Oh,
bring back sexy.
Okay, do you have a picture? We should side by side it.
Oh, I don't know. Do you? Well, it's easy to do. It's Justin Timberlake. I'm having less. Here we go. Oh, okay. Here we go. You're gonna hate me.
Oh.
There you go. She's reincarnation, except you're not dating Britney Spears.
He looks better though. I mean, he's got it, man. Okay. The earrings are a little like, but...
No, the diamond studs are out. They're done. Yeah. You got to get the rings that go from your to your nostrils.
When was that? Like friggin' 1996?
Mm-hmm. So we can call you Princer Lake or
Princer Lake,
Red Justin Lake, Red Timberlake. There you go. You're never gonna invite me on after that because everyone's gonna be like, you're like, hey Timberlake, somebody you want.
I'm gonna take that as a compliment now, though.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I feel sorry for Amy and her 80 cats trying so hard for attention in your chat right now.
Who?
80 cats. That Amy. 80 cats. That's right. I said 80 cats. Because I bet there's like 80 cats in that bedroom. No, I'm sorry. This has been so much fun. It's actually been awesome to talk about. Like, this is great. Like, Ottawa's been like an experience. The trucker convoy, I can't wait till I get to DC. I really can't. I want to see how that goes. The rally they had yesterday was different than the way Canada has a rally every morning.
Yeah.
But I miss Ottawa. I do. I miss what was going on. it was something. What was it? The walk around Parliament 7 days. That one they did every day, even in the snow. It was like I think it was the Walls of Jericho. They were doing that reenactment. The Walls of Jericho fell after 7 days. Did you not know about that?
Ooh, no, not at all.
They did a march around all of the Parliament building for I think 7 days.
How? It's on the river.
Well, no, there's supposedly a path that goes around. They were doing something. They did the Walls of Jericho. Yeah, they did that too. There was a bunch of stuff.
So I should have been there to stream it, but like, what was that at like 9 a.m.? I feel like I was like 9 a.m. every day, and that's like none of the times that I was there. I heard something about it. I heard something about it.
Dude, you got to interview the guy that stood there for hours on end with the peace sign in his fingers holding the flag, dude. That guy was like on a lot of articles, and he just stood there. He had resolve in the bitter cold. Like his hand must have been frozen. Like,
you said he got frostbite.
Shit.
Yeah. Crazy, eh?
Yeah, it was crazy. And like you got Reverend Kevin, who's like, oh my God, we can't use horns no more. So he's just jacking it with the other stuff. Kevin was like I think Kevin would fit in with the U.S. truckers right now, the cowboy hats and the denims.
He would fit right in. The one thing that really surprised me was that he was a lot shorter than I expected. Like he's like this big guy in his truck, and then he gets out, and I'm like, oh, it's Lord Farquaad. Like,
okay, Kevin, don't. I'm laughing, but I'm not saying I'm agreeing.
He's gonna run me over with this truck. Yeah. What did you say?
And that's something I wanted to ask you. Why did Christian go home after Eric? I heard there was some type of emergency, but no one's ever filled me.
That was a huge big thing because Chaba was like cursing and swearing. He was so mad. He was like genuinely hated them after that. He was like, I think it was you, Ottawa Scotty, that interviewed him about it. He was like, yo, like, screw the 55 people in this guy's company. Like, this movement is more important. And it's like, one extra truck over there wouldn't have changed the outcome of the movement. Sometimes you got to be like considerate of what other people, are going to be. Christian was a little bit of a different story though, because like he just left.
Of his background.
He
didn't actually say anything. He didn't say anything.
What?
Wait. He just left. He didn't say anything because there was rumors going around that something like a family emergency happened that he had to go home.
Who, Eric or
Christian?
I didn't hear that. I heard that they just threatened to cancel his insurance and then he just left.
And if the Emergencies Act wasn't played, that wouldn't have happened. See, that's the dirty trick.
But it's just like, like you got to be in this together, right? Like if it's a family emergency, then that's totally different. But if you're just like, oh, I don't want to get my thing revoked, whatever, I'm going to leave. It's like, come on, man. Like, you made a pact with all the other guys. Like, I heard that.
But then he would have to pay the towing cost. And when they came in, remember, they were breaking all the windows and shit. Supposedly they were taking license plates, too. But I could see what was going on because that truck was his. That means it was his personal insurance. If his personal insurance probably got canceled, then he probably might not have a chance of getting it back. And that truck would be stalemated, whether in Ottawa or at his home. They did that the same thing in the U.S. Convoy. There was a guy driving who was renting a Penske trailer that had the People's Convoy sign on it, and they were threatening the same thing. And then he just quit, got a new trailer, put the sign on, and went back down into the convoy. So there's shit still going on in the U.S. too. That's how petty it is. Mike,
just ignore it. Don't even comment.
I'm gonna say, Mike, if you don't know me, you don't have a say. I'm good.
Don't even say anything. But anyways, so yeah, Eric. The thing is, like, with that, I understand, but I'm not exactly sure what happened with the whole Christian thing. But I heard so this. Okay, the one thing that I gotta do in all this is give Chaba a shout out because he was like, wimps, whatever, they left. So he moved because he was alone now in that area, and he moved up to like where all the action is at. Like, and he actually got stuck in a snowdrift, and the people actually had to get behind his truck and push him in. And eventually, there were so many people leaving because they were just like afraid or whatever. He was right there at the stage, on Metcalf Street. And
yeah.
So it's crazy that he was like totally on the outskirts, and then he was in the action, and then shortly after he parked there, that's when the whole situation happened with the whole, you know, getting kneed and everything. And Live at the Shed posted a clip of that as well.
Yeah, they had it live and it was going on because then they took that over as the next lookout. When we were watching it from, I think, Rebel's perspective, the tactical SWATs that were there, they were pointing out the streamers. They were going after the camera feeds first. They were like pointing them out.
Really?
But Shaba, like he did, he went on his knees, he put his hands behind his head, assumed the position, and they moved in. Honestly, a lot of truckers that were being told to leave, it was pretty much, I think it had more to do with like how things were going. The Emergencies Act, we don't ever know what was going on with the insurance companies afterwards. But what people were saying with the whole Eric thing, it didn't make sense. But if they were willing to cancel a whole company because of just the trailer, that's 55 families. And whether or not people want to believe it or not, the fact that that dude had to give up on his principles to stay till the end, so 55 families didn't suffer, that's big props. That's huge balls, man. I don't think a lot of people could do that. It's like that Star Trek saying, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one or the few. It's the same thing.
Yeah, but here's the thing, like he was contemplating just having some friend or whatever come and tow his trailer out, but
they wouldn't let him. They wouldn't let him in.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't allow them to.
They wouldn't let a trailer in even to pull it, and I think that sucks. It was like there's one way or no way. Would you rather have people all coming after you because you decided not to leave and have 55 families, let's say, try to start a lawsuit if that was the case? Like it got to the point now where Trudeau played that card. Mm-hmm. And there was nothing else to do. But the thing is, when we were watching the Senate speeches and Senator Platt went and did his, it was like 45 minutes into that or after that, because he got questioned by everyone. It was the most questions I've seen. Trudeau decided to revoke the Emergencies Act. And one of the dudes, everyone that was respectful to Platt got a respectful answer back. When one dude via Zoom call came after him and tried to like come hostile at him, the guy only gave him a yes and no.
Yeah.
And it showed how much people were trying to catch someone in a lie or catch someone in their sayings as incorrect or falsify. And it showed that if you can't even treat the Senate, your own Senate members, with respect, you're going to get the short answer. And the lady, the blonde lady, I forget her name, from Saskatchewan, when she was talking about it, the Senate, the rumor was the Senate was going to vote no on the Emergency Act even being passed, and they were going to revoke it. I think that's why Trudeau pulled the card, because he had to know. But there were a lot of senators in there that spoke of what they saw. Some of them actually worked right outside the window of you guys protesting.
Wow.
And they saw firsthand. And when they were saying things, it defeated the narrative of what people were using pictures of, like the one flag or that one standing on the statue or the peeing up here and there. And the thing is, when there's 80 cameras on you, all showing one thing and only a couple legacy media showing another, it depends on how the narrative is built. And I honestly think the city council and the way Parliament, House of Commons, and CBC and CTV and other things were portraying it, rather than just talking to the truckers, which was the main reason most of them were down there, to have someone talk to them, even if it was a representative Trudeau talk to them, it probably would have gone differently. As soon as Trudeau labeled those truckers as those things live on air to all of Canada or whatever, it also gave Canada a reason to label them and divide them as well. And that made them stand their ground more, in my opinion. And then he went into hiding.
Yeah.
And then did you see the House of Commons clip where he literally said the Conservatives the Conservatives would rather stand with people in swastikas than deal with what's going on? And literally, like the 3 times or 4 times, the Conservatives were saying, "Can we get an apology for that?" Because most of the Conservatives here are either descendants or relatives of people who survived the Holocaust, escaped it, and you're saying they stand with swastika, and he didn't give them.
Okay, so important point about that. Do you know exactly the backstory about the guy with the swastika flag? Because I do.
Supposedly, it was set up, and the photographer who took the picture was actually Trudeau's personal photographer.
What? So I heard a totally different story. It's interesting that we have different perspectives on that, because you must have heard something different. I heard that so this guy, he was just coming down with the swastika flag, and he was like, is this what you want our country to become? So he was like totally innocent to
He
it.
was using it as a reference point, like I think it was ULS Scotty's QR code, right? That had the Nazi symbol behind it, right? And people had to describe it. Yeah, okay.
But I can't imagine the feeling of that guy, like going home and being like, damn, like I just gave Trudeau like the best ammunition against the movement. Like, guy must have felt horrible.
But see, I believe that more as a person using it as a reference than it was being spun as a setup by Trudeau, because then it actually shows a different story. Because I've never heard that. You're the first person who told me that. It's the same thing where they were trying to label Confederate flags as all of them. They were doing this big broad stroke campaign, and I'll admit, I did say this: the Pat King and Tamara Leashes, whatever their history was or online clips they had of them, that would be the taint on the whole movement of the truckers in general. And they would not only have to fight that, they would have to rely on the footage of what streamers showed, what was going on, and how people at the end of the day perceived it.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, when was the last time you had something like this in Canada happen, which just like the world is watching, like the world was literally watching, and you're sitting there going, usually last time the world was watching Canada was in a South Park episode.
Well, it's like, I'm not that old, so I don't really like. don't have a lot of experience with this sort of political and like nothing. Canada's a quiet place. Like nothing ever happens up here. Whenever I see,
unless it's a Leafs game losing or a Montreal game's losing, and then it goes from we're gonna win to utter silence and tears.
Well, you know what? And another point that I think that Dana made, like that was a very, very interesting point that I never thought of up until this point, was it was an absolutely brilliant idea to have this convoy right in the dead of winter, like in February, because I think if this was in the summertime, it would have been a drastically different result, in the sense that there would have been a lot more protester groups, anti-protester groups out there. BLM and Antifa, they tend to be shaken out with the cold. So like it's only the diehard supporters that are out there, like in minus 30. Like, come on, nobody's gonna be like, oh, maybe we should go to the convoy. Like, you're gonna be dead set on it.
See, you just brought something up, because were you there when I think it was Main Street Canada trying to say that Antifa was there? Were you there for that when he was going around saying names to them?
Yeah, I met Main Street.
Let me tell you.
Okay, so you have a story about this.
We were watching that stream, and he not only followed those group, I think, of Ottawa residents for like a few minutes, he was also antagonizing them before they knocked the phone out of his hand.
What?
So he was claiming they were Antifa with no actual proof. But he was also following them for a good while, antagonizing them and stuff and filming them. So he probably brought that problem on himself, and then saying they were Antifa to a bunch of different streamers without proof kind of was a narrative not needing to be built. Because from what we were watching, we were just like, that doesn't seem right at all. Just because they're wearing black doesn't mean they're Antifa. It's probably because that's the only winter clothes they have. They want to be inconspicuous.
Oh, man. Yeah, I met him a couple of times, and he didn't really seem like an antagonistic guy. But I know that he was complaining to me at one point that he's like, oh, like I dropped in viewers like a lot. Like I think I'm shadow banned. And I'm like, I don't know. So like maybe something behind the scenes happened, and maybe that was like all like unbeknownst to me. And then now I'm just kind of connecting the dots. I don't know. It could be completely unrelated, but yeah, it's never a good look when you're going. And see, that's the thing. When I was going after that one guy, I actually saw that later in the live chat where you're like, or sorry, like when I was watching your streams after the fact, like, yo, back off. And,
when he was following those groups of people, right? And you're like, oh no.
No. So remember that whole situation where it was like, that guy was kind of arguing with like some of the protesters. It was actually me filming it.
Yeah.
And then he was like, they were like, having a little bit of a squabble with him. And then I went after him for a little bit, and I was like, hey sir, like, do you mind telling me what your thoughts are? then you on your channel, you were like, yo, back off. Yeah. So that's exactly, I kind of imagine those two scenarios being a little bit similar, but except that, he continued to pursue and I didn't.
To be honest, there were like, that's the thing, we're getting a third point of view from there. I think a lot of also when it came to like trying to, when you guys were trying to interview or get a perspective or an opinion of, let's say, an Ottawa resident, it's the thing when you have 80 cameras on you, it might cause anxiety because it feels like you are being surrounded. And maybe for some of them, it did feel like that. Like, I can never know what they're feeling because I wasn't down the same way I can't know what you're feeling. But seeing like from an outward perspective, you're able to pick up on mannerisms a different more. That's why I'm not perfect, right? No one's perfect down there. But there were some circumstances, like that guy with the pot and pan, it was just like, I'm gonna follow you around at the church and just bang my pot and pan. And you're seeing like people actually who live Ottawa come down going, well, like the dude that ran the gym and stuff, and they're talking about how like, we welcome this is great. There was so many people that just were from Ottawa and appreciate what was going on. And now we're seeing things like phantom honking. Phantom honking is a mild trauma where people can't even leave their houses in fear that they'll hear a horn again or the horn is still in their head. I'm not joking. This is an actual article.
Are you kidding me?
No, no. Phantom honking. It's like the new Star Wars film, like the Phantom Menace is going to be the phantom honking. And supposedly it's a mild trauma that will go away over time, but people are playing it off like it's serious PTSD. I understand the one victim, probably all of this, when it came to the horns, especially the people who had the train horns installed, is the animals, because their sense of hearing is a lot more sensitive. So I do feel sorry for pet owners in general. But we saw things with Stunt Dummy where a guy would like cross the street into a group of protesters, try to start shit, and then play victim when the cops approached. And it would just be like, there was a double standard of how they let, the thing is, you and a bunch of other streamers never let their emotion take over. You held the camera, you talked to the chat, and you interacted in general. The ones that overcame with emotion, you could see where this could escalate or de-escalate to. And I think that's where a lot of the things we were hoping wouldn't happen. And you could hear me in some of the reactions being like, oh, no, back away, no. And it was like, I was gripping my own balls for you because I couldn't do it for you. And it was, you're sitting there going, oh, jeez.
I will say, though, that there was one time where I was like really, really close to losing it on somebody. And that was the lady who was holding like the "Go Home Terrorist" sign. I don't know if you watched that specific instance.
Oh, the one with the blue jacket who looks really short, who was constantly like, "Go home, you're domestic terrorists." I'm like,
well, yeah, but I will admit, like, I had to like walk away just like abruptly because like I was about to like really like lay it out on her, like, and that was like the closest I've ever been. I just went up to her and I just thought, I'm gonna do my routine, like, treat her like I do everybody else. Like, hey, like, what's your story? Like, what do you want? Can't you read? I'm like, I can, but I'd like prefer if you told me. Well, I think you just better read. Like, everything I want to say is just on my poster. And I'm like, okay, like, I'm going to sit here and read like 3 pages on a live. Like, I'd rather you just tell me, like, come on. No, like, and I'm just like, well, like, you're not, like, here's the thing. My mind, like, I was just so, I can't understand any of this because I'm trying to, like, see, this is the thing. I made a whole entire standalone video about this, that when it comes to the anti-protesters, it's very important to put yourself in their shoes and understand exactly why they're doing these things. But I just couldn't with her because, you think from a rational point of view, okay, why is she here? Well, she wants us to go home. Okay, well, if that is the case and you're down here, it really doesn't make sense, because if you're down here and you're trying to get the people to go home, you're doing it in the most inefficient way possible. You're not getting your message across. If you're just saying to people, you're a terrorist, you're dumb because you don't want to read my sign, you're whatever, it's just, your job there as an anti-protester is to take as many people onto your side as possible, convince them that the truckers are evil and
share your perspective. Yeah, share your story, share why it affected you. But if you don't even want to talk to a protester or talk to someone who's streaming, who's not on either side, then you've already defeated the fact that you don't want understanding. You just want to stand there and be angry. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. I just
Yeah.
couldn't get it, and there's no point in doing that. And I told her that, and then she's like, "Oh, well, that's your opinion." It's like, no, it's not my opinion. It's just like, just have some rational thoughts here. Just know that So that for that reason, I usually don't partake in these sort of conspiracy theory things. But I definitely think that she was like a paid off actor or something, because there's no other sense in being there. There really isn't. Like, what do you think about that?
Can I ask a quick question though quickly? Hey, this is towards your chat. Hey, chat, type 1 for yes and 2 for no. Would you pay to see Red Prince angry? Because I can't picture that. I really would like to see that. I would like to. Oh my God, I can't see him angry. He would have like that smile while holding a butcher's knife in Psycho. Like, do you think it'd be nice to see him just once? I'm sorry, I'm being a dick. But no, I get it. Like if you're yelling domestic terrorist, look at all the ones that start. But like domestic terrorist, like no. The fact is, what they're doing is they're watching the city council live streams. Dude, their live streams got hacked. They even clipped it, and then they deleted the live stream where it says, like, our slowly has failed us. Our prime minister has failed us. And they got rid of the stream. And look at all those ones. Oh, shit, I'm so sorry. You're going to have a Rage Prince episode.
I got to go and see that lady again in a back alley or something.
You got a $1 one. Bacon Rich, you're awesome. But he's too adorable. No, yeah, he is adorable. Yeah, I'll give him that as a non-sexual appropriation of that comment. But no, like when you're screaming domestic terrorist, like if you want to look at domestic terrorists, let's look back at like what Toronto back in the day with the guy that was an incel who ran that van, the cube van on the sidewalk and took out all those people at Yonge and Bloor. That's kind of like looking at domestic terrorism. You remember what I'm talking about? It was a couple years ago. He drove the van into the crowd, into pedestrians on the sidewalk. You can look it up. It did happen.
You're talking about Toronto?
Yeah.
I thought this was like in France or something.
No, this was hold on. Young Bloor. That's when I was still watching news. This was that was in I think this was in 2021. That was the Alec Managian. He was the one who drove the van on to people in the thing. Oh wait, no, that's when his court case was. This was on Yonge Street on April 2018. Witnesses described seeing a white van mount the pavement on Toronto's busy Yonge Street and run down pedestrians.
Sorry, yeah. I just sprayed a bunch of. Anyways, yeah, that's very weird. Mount the pavement. What? So just he drove on the sidewalk and then over a bunch of people.
Pretty much. The same way we had that guy that used the minivan to hit people in I think it was Winnipeg or Coots with that guy who drove into the protesters there too. There's been some crazy stuff. You guys in Ottawa for 3 weeks, you guys mastered it. When the Emergencies Act came in, the whole tone changed, and it went from peaceful to like, am I going to get that one stick in the face? And when you confirmed that LRAD was there, I was like, oh no, and they were trying to play off that the fact that the protesters threw a bike at the horses, and you're hearing like the police had to deal with hurtful slurs and words. I'm like, really? That's why you needed all this force? Because they had cops from Edmonton and like Alberta and Ottawa. They got everywhere. Supposedly there was also UN planes too. And they had people from the voluntary UNs from the US in there.
Really?
There was so much stuff going on, and I'm like, supposedly the ones in the green suits, those were from Montreal. I haven't confirmed yet, but those were from Montreal or Quebec.
Oh, the shiny green ones.
Yeah, and they were telling
Quebec police for sure. Yeah.
And they were and the Steve Bell or whatever the hell his name is, the dick with ears. That dude was saying pretty much that protesters had smoke bombs and lit it first. They were throwing flares, all this stuff. And there was such a different of narrative. It was crazy. Winnipeg. Thank you,
You get
Snoopy.
you get a bunch of different opinions on there. Because, like, it's funny that you mentioned that because I didn't pay attention to the mainstream media at all while I was there because I was, live streaming, right? So I didn't know.
I had to.
Like, I probably would have been way more angry of a person there on camera, and it would have just sullied the whole stream if I would have paid attention to that. So I'm glad I didn't, because it was just that you're living in the moment with all the positivity. You're there with all the truckers, guys like Dana and Justin, not Trudeau. If I don't know if you've seen that stream, but
I was there yesterday. I'm lurking in your chat. I'm not always responding, right? Because usually I'm doing like live streams at 10 a.m. as soon as the first person to get People's U.S. Convoy goes live. But yeah, I'm always lurking, dude, and listening. But yeah, there was definitely a different narrative. There was definitely like House of Commons. I think the speaker even said, "We're getting called because you guys are acting like children, or like what the hell's happening in your House of Commons." It was turning into a Jerry Springer episode. Things all over the place were getting chaotic, and that's the thing though. There were so many phones and cameras everywhere that no matter what they tried to spin, there was footage that said the alternate. And when I was hearing that, they even like it was whether it was Canadian police or the Canadian government telling streamers to take down their footage. I'm glad I backed up as much as I could, because I haven't been hit with a strike. I haven't been hit with anything more than a copyright claim because of music. But they were trying to paint a lot of people as just utterly horrible. And I never saw the hot tub till the fifth estate interview, and I'm like, oh my god, the hot tub does exist. They had a hot tub in the middle of the street, and I'm like, okay, that's still going a little far, but I'm like,
yeah.
They kind of jump in the lake in like was it Iceland or something for one of those events? And yeah. So it's like, I get it, but you were lucky too. The rave truck, you walked in at just the right time. And even then I was hearing rumors like, oh, Red Prince was there at the right time. Maybe he's the Fed. I'm like, he's not a Fed. He just was doing his night stream walks, and he got he came down there and saved 8 cops from taking down a guy who actually boarded his truck without permission and everything. You know what I'm talking about, right? Because the showed up later. Yeah.
Tyler. So here's the interesting thing about that. I was getting even before this whole Pat King thing came out, I was getting so.
Oh, that's a face. Someone screenshot that. Oh,
what?
Your face froze with you doing like the duck face, like oh. And I was like, someone screenshot that.
Oh well. Anyways, I would like. Especially because I started really small, right? Like at the 40 subscribers. And so when people saw that I only had 250 subscribers, and then I'm streaming, they're like, oh, like he's police. Like obviously he just started a channel just to catch people. And then it became a lot more legit, and people started trusting me and whatever. Because when you see a streamer constantly coming up in your feed, like Trial Fun 69, always I get his videos recommended, right? So once they see a familiar name, they become having that element of trust. But at the beginning, it's like, oh, who is this guy? And you get those really weird comments.
Here, I got another clip for you because I actually made a video of it, and
let's see it.
The reason why I covered both Parliament or anything else people brought up in my chat is because we needed to have recorded different retrospective how Parliament was portraying things, or news was portraying things, and how we were seeing things on the ground, right? Because if you don't see both sides of how a story is being painted, you don't realize how you can see people thinking that the truckers are those types of evil people, and then seeing the opposite, where people are like the truckers and the protesters or whatever are good people. They're just doing something. And this is one of them. And this, Snoopy, I used some of your footage because you were down there live.
Okay, let's get that in there.
Let me know when you're ready.
Boom.
And I want you to listen to Trudeau, and then I want you to watch the footage in general.
Who ripped down fencing around our national war memorial, our patriots. The blockaders who ripped down fencing. The blockaders who ripped down fencing. The blockaders. Now, he has said rip down fences. That's why I put it on repeat, right? Do they look like they're ripping down fencing when they're stacking it? If it was like the way with this, like a BLM or any type of protest that's causing violence, you would just rip shit down. You would leave it there, mess something up, spray paint it, and move on. I don't see that.
Yeah.
But this was in our Parliament. This is how they were talking about it. And you see this dude back here, Captain, the duckbill mask right here?
No, yeah.
He was on the news, right? And when the funds were getting frozen, right? And he was asked a question. He literally said live, "Well, if you're a pro-Trumper, you better be worried your funds are going to get frozen." I didn't know. Yeah, he literally tried to say if you're a pro-Trumper all of a sudden, because Trump supposedly actually not. I don't know if it was thanked, but gave the truckers a very nice assertion. And I guess they took that as influence, because somewhere I think is in the Charter of Rights or the Bill of Rights of Canada, outside influence is actually something that they have to actually uphold. And so the funding from donations, supposedly from America, was considered American influence because they were trying to paint this as extremism, terrorism, or domestic, whatever it was, yada yada yada. Because Christina Freeland, whoever she is, she's like the stepsister of the Wicked Witch of the West. They wanted to put that funding freezing in permanently. They wanted to keep that after the emergency.
Wait a second. What? So like people's bank accounts are going to be permanently frozen?
On the assumption, and if they donated, I think it was that they donated over $25 or more, and it was assumed to be an extremism group or some type of influence, they wanted to freeze it. Yeah. They were freezing a lot of accounts. Yeah.
How are people supposed to freaking live?
Doesn't matter to them.
Because, like, this is because the thing is, like, I've heard now that the accounts are being, like, frozen or unfrozen, sorry. And, like, everything's going back to normal. People got their trucks back, whatever. But, like, are they just saying this because they're just trying to, like, bluff and threaten people? Or are they actually thinking of freezing people's accounts forever? Because I don't even think
they did freeze people's accounts. There was people who donated, like, let's say $25,000, and like, let's say from, I think it was Saskatchewan or whatever, they got their account frozen. People were getting their accounts frozen, or you would get like, hey, if you want to donate to this, there would be a message popping up on the PayPal saying this account is known to be part of an extremism group, extremism group, etc. So my mouth and words are having a fight right now. But there was a bunch of stuff going on. Parliament was painting such a broad stroke picture. And then when we saw that clip about the Captain Ninja Turtle here with the balding head and wishing he was younger, was talking about pro-Trump. I'm like, why are you bringing in pro-Trump? What does that have to do with anything? It was weird, because I'm like, you guys are really trying. They were trying to actually relate the whole trucker protest to another Jan 6 event. They were really trying to attach it as being one of those. And I'm sitting there going, if they've been here 3 weeks, if they were going to storm Parliament, would they have already done it?
Oh, for sure.
And that's what I was like. Yeah, no digital ID. It was so messed up seeing this shit. But like,
who ripped down fencing? The blockaders who ripped down fencing.
Now this is where they sang prayer. They treated that war memorial with respect. And then they sang the anthem. You never saw this, did you?
No, I didn't see this.
But yeah. This is Snoopy, because he was down there, right? Right after the prayer. So violent, right?
Totally, yeah.
Okay. Why? Okay.
And thank you, Snoopy, for this footage. We all know those veterans right there. Yeah. Yeah, those veterans, dude, like they were pissed when they couldn't like give prayer. And there's another thing, and I'll bring this up and I'll admit this right now. I was very critical. This is because of you, Otto Scotty, and I'm not very well with how memorials work and offerings work, but people were, because the fence was still up when I saw this on one of the streams, and people left buttons there, right?
Yeah.
Scotty picked some of those buttons up. I don't know if he returned them as souvenirs to maybe give to the chat or whatever. And from my understanding is if people leave things at a memorial, it's like a gravestone. You don't take as souvenirs, you leave them there. And I'll admit that. I was very critical of that because I don't agree with him doing that. Because I feel like someone was putting something there, whether it be a flower or wreath, because it was some type of meaning. And other than that, there's only been very few things where I've been like kind of critical. Because that war memorial is supposed to mean, the unknown soldier is supposed to mean a lot, especially to veterans. And one of the veterans supposedly got their leg broken, if I'm understanding correctly, when the place moved in, and beat the crap out of.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
And I'm not bashing him. I'm saying what I saw live on stream, and I'm being honest. If everyone ever goes through those videos and tries to reclip it as something else, I'm being honest. I don't agree with taking the buttons. Whether the buttons were there for one reason or another, someone left them there at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier for a reason.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought Scotty would be better than that, to be honest.
Yeah, Viva interviewed that guy. And I had people in my chat trying to play off the guy that got interviewed as like he's just playing victimhood. He just got whitewashed or whatever. I'm like, that's or washed out. And I'm like, dude, he got beaten out. They're treating even veterans like crap. He lost one of his medals that he wears on his chest to get that replaced. But one veteran dude that used to shovel all the snow with the beard, he was very like telling the CBC or CTV, get the hell out of here. You're not welcome here. Get the hell out of here. He was very vocal. And the police are right behind you. They're being respectful. And he was like, you need to get the F out of my house right now. I have never seen anyone treat a memorial with more respect than those veterans there.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, those veterans deserve so much respect and props for how they treated the memorial, they treated the surrounding area, and how they withheld their principles. And I honestly got to say thank you, veterans, if you're watching.
Yeah, it was everybody, man. Like, I think I found like one cigarette butt on the ground the entire time that it was there. It was ridiculous. Like, you know, everyone was like doing their part in shoveling. Everyone was doing their part in feeding people. Everyone was doing their part in getting the garbage out there. There was like people on like wheel cart duty where they'd get like a shopping cart or whatever and wheel the garbage out of there and, you know, take shifts and throwing it into the dumpster or whatever. And it's just like crazy stuff.
It was clean. Wait. Was that you that said, oh, look, there's a cigarette butt, then walked away and didn't pick it up? Was that you? I remember that. I'm like, yeah, because I'm yelling at you, pick up the cigarette butt. What the hell? And I was, because I couldn't, I like, remember, beer was my forte. But like, I have never, like, you talk about protests and stuff like that, and we all reference BLM, but it was the cleanest protest I've ever seen. That, if there wasn't snow and it was middle of summer, you could eat off that crap. Well, maybe a little bit, depends on how many layers of food, but it was clean.
It was very clean.
It was so clean. It's the cleanest I've ever seen any street.
Well, I guarantee you it'll be dirtier now that the truckers are gone.
Oh, they're all fenced up everywhere. I don't know if they got rid of it. Did you hear about the supposed, there was rumors the day of, I think the Emergency Act got revoked, or the day before. Druthers was down there in Ottawa. Supposedly it was supposed a bomb threat. Then it was a shooter in a building, and it turned out the day the Rideau Mall opened, armed shoplifter.
Yeah, I did hear about that. I mean, coincidence? I think not, right?
Yeah.
Again, it's just always about, like, you know, the other side just trying to paint these people as, like, the worst people they are possible. Could be an entire coincidence, but, you know, we'll never know the truth of the matter, right?
No, because truth is a subjective to the person perceiving it, right? And the best thing you could do is go with an unbiased view, look at both sides of people telling the story of how it affected them or what you can see, and then make your own decision. Because in the day, it's your decision, like it's your own opinion. Anyone tells you your opinion or your decision is wrong, they're not in your shoes. You can always take yourself out and try to think about what it's like to live in someone else's shoes. But at the end of the day, they're still not your shoes. And Ottawa was just, it felt like, I don't know how to describe it. It was everything in 2 years that needed to get out over 3 weeks, whether it be fantastic or scary, but it's something that hopefully will get marked in history books.
Yes, it will for sure. But I'm just interested in how this whole COVID thing is going to play out, because, talking to people around the world now that, because most of my subscribers are not Canadian, as interesting as that is. And talking to people all around the world, it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing in Canada and Australia? Like, everyone else is like, COVID is a thing of the past, and here we're still wearing masks and, showing QR codes. Like, what is going on?
Because I think it's pretty much simple. What was going on in Canada with the world watching was people wanted to see a battle be fought without the use of weapons. And it was accomplished. Trudeau was the only person who did not give the respect to have a conversation. And we are raised to work out our differences with conversation first, before we pick up a fist, before we name call, depending on how our environment. But we're raised to, first things when we meet someone for the first time, we introduce ourselves, we do a handshake or whatever, introduce our names, etc. If there's ever a misunderstanding, you work it out in discussion. You try to solve your issues before you lay blame as the person as an enemy. Trudeau never did that. Mm-hmm. And the people who believed, and he gave the okay to Canada who believe in this type of mindset to, honestly, they can do the same thing. If you can't work things out in discussion, you can always disagree or agree to disagree, move on, and still have a barbecue with your neighbor or your friends or family and not be villainized. Everyone is tired of being villainized for having an opinion.
Yeah.
Everyone is tired of having a finger pointed at them because they don't go along with the collective that wants to believe that their collective is the only thing out there. But that's the beauty of humanity and human beings, is that we're all individuals. We might all live in the same country, but we all think differently. We're all going to agree. We're all going to disagree. But we can still be friendly. And that is an art form. The art of discussion should not be destroyed by not only government or legacy media, but by social platforms, whether it be Twitter or Facebook, but even within our own families. And I know people who have had people in their families accost them for not having a vax, or not be able to spend Christmas or birthdays or go to a hospital. You remember Doug Ford's cheesecake video, right? We're all in this together t-shirt. Meanwhile, there's over 2,000 deaths in our long-term care facilities where he had to call in the military and then wouldn't even agree to a public inquiry because he was going to choose a party of his own ability, and then tried to blame it on the previous government, even though he cut funding when he got office. There has been so much shit, especially in Ontario, that for me as a personal, I'm going to say this personally, when that image is still in my head, I still have like those thoughts. It makes me shiver. Like your body just freezes up for a second. When my dad being carried on the stretcher with the straps all on him and everything, the white blanket, wondering if I'm going to see him in a couple months, whether he's going to be okay. And it's all of that stuff has been building in people. We don't want to rely on a CERB. We want to rely on our own paycheck supporting our families, knowing that we spent a whole week working, that we busted our asses, not only to feel proud for ourselves, that our kids, that usually, I'm not a parent. That's a different story about why I don't have kids right now. But we all have kids, or those who do have kids know that their kids are the first ones they look up to as their heroes. And we don't ever want to see that look of disappointment in them. Because when we are gone, they're the ones that have to deal with our mistakes. And I think that's why a lot of the truckers were down there, for our children, because we don't want to fail them. Because when we're gone, all that's left is our legacy.
Mm-hmm. No,
I'm not.
I completely agree. But I to your point there with the whole being built up with this whole tension aspect, for sure it's true, because you have so many people who are just sick and tired of this, but they think they want to get out of this pandemic their way, right? And they do not perceive the other way as a good way to do it. Just like me, like I don't think that vaccines and lockdowns and masks is the way to go. But other people on the other side think that everyone has to get a shot, and if you don't wear a mask, you're the devil, right? So I feel like either side just can't come to a compromise on this, because it's like my way or the highway sort of thing. And it's this constant battle between, opinions of, okay, well, I want this 100% and we want this 100%, and neither of us can have our way, so we're just going to butt heads. So, and when it comes to that, it's just an absolute mess in Parliament, and like
it's not even just it's not even just Parliament. It's even when you got people speaking on behalf of, let's say, immunocompromised. I understand immunocompromised, like that's got to suck as a lifestyle. But at the same time, immunocompromised have been living way before 2020 and adapted. It's the same way we see politicians speaking on behalf of disabled people or homeless or minority groups. It's the same thing. Most people don't want to be put in the spotlight as someone that needs to be protected. They just want to live their life and hope things over time evolve. Like, maybe this is a bad representation, but the fact of accepting gay marriage. Now it's okay. Some people it's not. But we don't want to you don't want to be propped up as a billboard for someone's political running or someone's mayoral candidate issues. People are still people. They're not billboards. It's like when we have like Black History Month or Disabled Week. Buy a t-shirt. How does buying a t-shirt help a disabled person? Oh my God, he bought a t-shirt. I can walk again, Jim. I'm going to the store. I'm running Terry Fox run. It's the same shit. People at the end of the day just want to live their lives, not be spotlighted, and not feel like they're being singled out. It falls in the same line as victimized culture. People who play the victim or want to speak on behalf of people who think they're victims are nothing more than trying to project their own skeletons being hidden in their closet and need to get the hell over it. Everyone has a voice, minus people who are mute. I'm not saying you don't. We can still do sign language and stuff. Don't need someone else speaking on their behalf, especially when it's a politician. And I'll say that honestly because of Jagmeet Singh. Jagmeet Singh has been a major flip-flop I've noticed when it came to like disabled people, especially with CERB and stuff. Promised to help them out and did dick all. Even older senior incomes.
Well, here's the thing, man. You say that, and I think that there's a little bit of a disparity here, that you're saying that, oh, well, everyone wants to be able to get back to that paycheck thing, and they want to have pride in, knowing that they brought in, like, the ends meet or whatever, the paycheck from their own work. But I think that a lot of people out there would rather just be on the CERB, and I don't know.
Oh yeah, there is those bunch. Like why aren't they going after the people that frauded all the CERB checks, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you remember during 2020, there was like when the CERB started coming out, right? There were certain people that had qualified for it, and there were certain provinces that were doing clawbacks or even canceling their disability and their health benefits during lockdown.
Oh yeah.
And it was nuts here. Like, let me get this straight. You people just dictated across the country that $2,000 is literally the normal for society to live. And yet we have people on welfare living at maybe like $900 at most a month. I'm estimating here. I'm not perfect on the new funding right now. Or disabled living off, let's say, $1,000, $1,100 a month. And yet then even during the service ship, when we're like disabled people or welfare or whatever are trying to get, or even retirement, seniors are trying to get like the same type of respect. You got people on social platforms saying, oh, our taxes pay for your disability. No, they don't. And literally, you saw how the tier system of divide has already been there. And then when it came to the vax and unvax, the divide became so much greater. And it felt like, well, you have scurvy and you don't. So you get to go on the roller coaster and you get to go to the bathroom. And it was just disgusting to see how this mindset was playing out. Sorry, I don't mean to be all serious and stuff. It's just
Yeah. I don't really know too much about that, so I can't really comment on exactly.
I'm just saying perspective. We don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but I think everyone's had enough. The protest created a lot more hope, and it's created a lot of worry within people who don't want people to have hope. And you should be proud for the footage you've gotten, the success you have, and wherever you want to go, the people that believe in you will always be there.
Yeah,
I'll be there for you too.
Man, I appreciate that.
No, I appreciate you being so respectful, even letting me come on. Honestly. And I have to apologize for me engaging with the trolls in your chat. I know it's probably not your channel etiquette, but at the same time, I love trolls. They make me feel warm and fuzzy inside like diarrhea. It's fantastic.
I just thought that this was, the least I could do, sort of thing.
You've done more than enough. Like the fact that you said it was okay to restream and like I wasn't trying to take anything away from people and it helped you guys in the long run is all I care about.
Well,
we're all just trying to live.
Another thing is you kind of got to take into account that like this is the whole reason why the convoy was happening, right? Is so that we can make connections with the people who are like-minded and even not like-minded, whatever. But, I just think that the beauty of that movement was that, now that basically everyone who thinks like us across the country gathered in one place and we had the opportunity to, meet each other, and even if it's not face to face. So I think that that's the whole point of the convoy. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do here is just, make connections and, hopefully connections that will last the lifetime.
I think that's the best bet. Because, like I said, when I started YouTube, I have met some people that I can literally call brother, even if we're not by blood. And I hope you have met those people at the same time. Because those are the people that will be there when you fall. They will be there when they need, when you're having a bad day. But you will also be there for them when they fall and they need a kick in the ass. That is one thing I've learned about YouTube. No, I'm serious. When I talk about the guy named Loki, he is one of those people that he lives in the US. But no, not Loki Bear. His name is Loki Noise of Mischief. He has his own. But
okay,
there are people there that once you get to know them and you develop like an online relationship with, the bond with them is stronger than your actual family. And those people will not only do anything for you, you will do anything for them. Because at the end of the day, they're not doing it to get something from you. They're doing it because they see something in you that they believe in. And you guys in Ottawa brought back that passion I've lost when I was doing that with something else in pop culture. That's why I put so much focus on all of you. And people in the chat, whether you believe me or not, or think I'm tooting a horn or just whatever, it's the truth. I believe Canadians have found a strength again that they've had. And I believe the world has found the ability to tap into that strength because of what they saw in Ottawa. And no matter how many times we fall, we got to pick ourselves back up.
You're really good at these long monologues.
I'm sorry.
You're
really
good at going with your writer capability. You sound like Trudeau sometimes. You speak.
Wow, that's an insult. Wow,
No,
tearing down fences.
You get really into it, and we will get through this.
I believe in
together.
people. No, it's just I believe in people. I've spent my whole life pretty much alone. Like I do have family that live on the streets. I fend for myself. Never panhandled shelters. Never asked for anything. When people send me donations, I'm very wow, you didn't have to do that. Thank you. And people are yelling at me to be humble. But people are saying, hey, I want to help you out. Is there any computer equipment you need? What do you need? And I'm like, well, I do need this, but I feel bad even asking for it because I feel like I'm being selfish. I am very hypocritical of myself. That's just a general boo. Don't boo me.
Aren't we all though?
Wise word. I just think if you take away the politics, You take away and all that shit we see on social media where we cloud and just look at someone like you would look at your neighbor. The interaction is so much easier. And that's the thing when it comes to like living behind a screen generation, or whether it's a text message or a Twitter post, what lacks behind those posts is seeing the facial mannerisms, the eye contact, and the voice tone. And without those, misunderstanding happens 100 times over.
Oh, 100%. Texting is the worst. You got to have that voice, real authentic voice.
Oh, Russell, that's okay. It was just joking around. Don't make me. I'm not a politician. I hate fucking politics. I do. I hate it. Politics were like humanity's been around a lot more than politics. Politics suck. Anyone, like I said, oh God, I hate it. Like I don't vote. I literally don't vote because at the end of the day, both politicians are fucking liars. They're never going to give you what you want. I don't believe in I'd rather believe in Santa Claus. I would rather believe in Santa Claus. If Santa Claus came down and ran for office, I would vote for him. You want to know why? Because I know at least he has a magical list of who's been naughty and who's been fucking nice. I'm sorry for swearing, but you know what I mean? Look, that makes more sense to me at this point. The fact that I have to believe in Chris Kringle to be a politician, not you know what I mean? Though that's how flabbergasted the mind has worked now. And honestly, Loki's Mornings of Mischief, if you're up at like 9 a.m. Eastern, he has a morning show every day. You would probably love him, dude. He is some dude that gets your blood pumping. And I would listen to him before I went live. And yeah, he is someone I can trust. And that's why.
By the way,
yeah,
I'm very curious about this because this is totally unrelated to anything we were just talking about. But I just can't get over this, and I really need to know. So I don't know if I can do this. Okay, so you see on the screen there, you see the thumbnail and then that tiny red dot. What is that?
Oh, what do you mean? What do you mean? The tiny red dot beside the nail? Okay, that's their profile picture. The C is their name. The red dot is the YouTube logo. With StreamYards, you can set up to stream. Let's say if you sync up your Twitch or your Restream or your Facebook, you can stream to multiple platforms at the same time through StreamYard.
Okay, because I had one of those red dots beside like a comment on one of my videos, and then I hovered the cursor over it and it says publicly subscribed to you.
That means they in their profile they have if they're subscribed to you, it's openly known that they're publicly subscribed to you. That's like in my chat when I've had subscriber mode on for doesn't matter the time, it's because it kept out spam bots or porn bots. You'll get those over time. That's why I had it in there. Yeah.
Great.
Oh yeah, you're looking like don't worry. At least the content on their site's good. Not that I know or anything, but no, I'm just kidding.
But so here's the thing, right? Like, because I thought because that person in the comments was publicly subscribed to me, I'm just like, oh damn, like, does that mean like every single person that's watching right now in the chat is like subscribed?
Pretty much because you don't have subscriber mode on. One day we'll do a tutorial. But here, I want you to, you can see the chat right now. Wait for my name to pop up. I don't know if you can see that. Now, can you are eventually, you see like that? Yeah. I don't know if you have the YouTube channel popped up, but eventually you're going to have to find people you trust to be mods for you.
What? Why is that such a big deal?
Mods have the ability to ban or time out people in your chat that are causing shit.
Well, I know that, but I just don't, like, I've never had a problem with them, even when I had, like, so many people in the chat. Like,
you will, they'll come over time, trust me.
I know that they were there, but I would just leave them, and then it would be like, whatever.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not trying to summon them or anything. I'm not into Wiccan or anything, like YouTube Wiccan. That was a bad joke. I'm going to stop talking now. But no, like, mods are also SWAT bots, yes.
I have someone here that says, I heard you on Alex Jones after you found the Convoy. Wait, what?
I actually got on ZeroHedge.com, which was surprising because I was doing all the coverage of different streamers. I popped up on the front page of Zero Hedge, which is a financial site. And when people told me that, I was like, what's going on right now? Because I was the only one live doing coverage of different streamers, right? And I was like,
oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And that was like kind of like a W2F moment where like people were always looking for streamers in Ottawa. They were always looking for something. And I think it's like like think about it this way. If you weren't streaming that night, were you watching other streamers, and why were you glued to it? Can you explain why you were glued to it?
Glued to it.
Like you just kept watching. You would be on the background. Like that's the thing I'm just trying to figure out why it glued me. Like it glued somebody that watched. The way that people are listening to you right now, us. Like that's the thing I'm trying to figure out. What glued everyone to Ottawa?
Oh, well, like what made them want to watch?
Yeah.
It's a unique situation, man. Like that's never to be happening again. Like think about it, man. Like you're parking your truck in front of Parliament Hill, like the literal business place for these politicians. It's like, are you kidding? And if this were to happen in the States first, it would have gotten a lot less attention. But Canada has just gone that reputation where they're like, we're really nice people who talk about our differences, right? And then it's like, okay, like if they're doing this, the Canadians must be really pissed off. Something's wrong, right?
Yeah, that goes with the trope. But I also want to say one thing since I've been covering the People's Convoy within the U.S. Almost every overpass has had people on it, fire departments with flags out. Every overpass, the side grass of highways have had people waving American flags and just cheering them on as they go past.
Yeah.
So when the leader of the People's Convoy is saying thank you, Canada inspired that. They're not going there to cause shit. They're going there just because it's for the people. It's not for money. It's not for donations or whether you want to be popular or clout. They're doing it because when they see, like, let's say 200 vehicles in a convoy going down the highway, it means inspiration. And I can believe in inspiration.
Yeah.
Just like I can believe one day you're going to be starting the new NSYNC.
You got it.
Bye. Sorry. I'm never going to come back on this channel after this. He's going to ban my ass. I know this right now.
Oh, Monday. Have you forgotten of that already?
No, that's going to happen. I'm going to do that on my channel. We're going to bring you over on my channel and get the different thing.
Oh, we're going to do that on your channel. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you invite me to your house, I'm going to invite you on mine.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's do it. Let's do it, man. Go on the fast even, and then you have control over like the chat and everything. And,
I apologize if I out of line for talking to trolls.
I don't really particularly care. I mean, like I'm not going to offend any of the 50 people that are here. I mean, they're our core.
Yeah.
They're going to be with us till the very end. So I'm not concerned about that.
Sorry.
Go ahead. I was
going to say the best part about you and other streamers is the fact that you're not making it a hate click or like an ego click. You're smiling, you're talking about it, you're listening, and you're just interacting, and that's what's needed more. It's like what Plasma is saying, the unity, the ability to have a conversation and just shoot the shit and not feel like, wow, I should have really gotten a lawyer after this interview because this guy makes me want to check whether or not I'm going to get arrested tomorrow. You're like in the yellow pages for 20 minutes.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. I believe in the whole community aspect of things. Like I said, I just believe in just being like interacting with the people who, you made friends with at the convoy. And I think there could be some good things in store for the both of us in terms of collaborations and stuff. I like where this is going. That's all I'm going to say.
Me too, man. Like I said, like my channel has an open house policy. You're welcome here. Just don't be disrespectful. That's it. Like, you ever want to jump on a panel, watch the People's Convoy, and give your interaction, see what's going on, you're welcome to. At the same time, I'm hoping there's a public inquiry with Trudeau because I'm going to be on that like Uncle Ben on Rice. I'm good. I want to watch them. And I'm still waiting. I don't know if anyone knows in the chat whether the no confidence vote has passed yet or not.
Oh, I have no idea about that.
Because whatever's going to happen, I don't think Trudeau's going to get reelected again. I don't think they're like.
You'd be surprised, man.
I would be surprised, but he's not going to mind vote.
Stuff for sure. He's going to pull some stuff. But like,
the rumor is
he got reelected this time. To be honest with you.
See, the rumor is also the reason why the NDP supported him is because the NDP has no more money, and if they actually had a vote right now, the NDP wouldn't be able to do a nice. What's the word I'm looking for? What's the word when you're trying like? Not a running, but what's the word when you use your money to advertise for yourself during an election? Oh my God, why is the word
campaign?
campaign. Yeah, that supposedly that the NDP doesn't have money for it. That's why they voted and supported Trudeau. Even though Jamie Singh was being very hostile and not agreeing with it, he was still going to support the act. It's because they have no money in the NDP campaign. Thank you, everyone. Uncle Ben on rice racism conferred. I doubt that since they removed Uncle Ben from the box. So
Did they?
yeah, supposedly the same way they got rid of Aunt Jemima on the syrup.
Why?
And the indigenous, I think, woman on the butter. Yeah, this has been going on for years, guys.
Indigenous woman on the butter.
Yeah,
what butter do you buy?
No, I'm talking about I've been covering cancel culture and pop culture in general. Like when Gina Carano got canceled off The Mandalorian. And I covered the Ben Shapiro interview when I'm looking at, let's say No to Rage and how people were trying to cancel him on Twitch with false narratives and the way his family was being harassed. Like, yeah, I've been watching a bunch of stuff. Gothix is a great YouTuber if you haven't watched any of her stuff, especially when it comes to the interviews with Say No to Rage or the way Ben Shapiro interviewed Gina Carano. There's a lot more going on than just the Ottawa Convoy that's been going on a lot longer. And cancel culture is a virus. It's like the Blob movie. It is. It's like the Blob movie. They will eat everything in sight, but as soon as part of them turns on them and says something opposite, they will eat them instead. That's right. Support and freedom. Yeah. Like, I love the FNT guys. Friday Night Tights, Ass, Heels versus Babyface. Actually, I'll lay this out here. For those that know Tug, that umbrella guy, he wouldn't have found any of the Ottawa streamers if it wasn't for me. And he said, thank you. And Tug is a good guy, too. He's been dealing with cancel culture as well. He's covering the Johnny Depp stuff with Amber Turd and the whole pooping on the bed and all that crazy crap. Like there is so much more than just the Ottawa that's all has a kind of relation to how people act that's been going on a lot longer. Yeah.
Holy man, 3 hours. All right.
I'm sorry, it's my ADHD, bro.
No, it's okay. What we should do is end this stream here and make a plan for Monday.
Monday, 12 noon Eastern, my channel. I'll work on the thumbnail. Do you have a Twitter or Discord?
No. I saw your email about that, Brian. I don't. I'm a very low tech man. If you didn't realize.
Yes, I get it. You stay off the grid. Yes.
Well, I'm on YouTube on my face.
Maybe one day we won't stream it or film it, but one day we'll go for a real life beer, maybe sushi or something.
When the mandates drop, yeah.
Yeah, probably. They will, but I don't.
Be better.
Dude, I don't care, dude. We can share a beer in the park and smoke a joint. I don't care. Canada has legalized weed. I don't care. But the fact that I met you and you literally live very close to me is mind blowing because the world is actually a lot smaller when you think about it.
Oh, of course it is. I could probably drive to you in like 20 minutes.
You drive?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
You drive? Oh, great! I gotta drive a Miss Daisy. Mississippi, like driving Fat Steven. Except you can tell it's Red Britt's car because the back end is scraping across the ground. Because I'm fat. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to use you as an Uber. I don't pay as much. I'm a cheapskate.
You're unreal.
No, I'm just me. I actually, one time I'll let you, like, we can talk about other stuff, but like, yeah, I love talking to people. Like, I love having conversations. I love just making people laugh. I think it's the most disarming thing that anyone can do. To be honest, before we close up, I think the world hasn't been the same since we lost Robin Williams. And I was lucky to meet him twice. And people like Robin Williams and other comedians, whether it be a Bill Burr or a Burt Kreischer or Dave Chappelle, comedy, or even a George Carlin or a Mitch Hedberg, John Panette. We're at a point now where I think comedy needs to have an uprising to help disarm a lot of the way people are kind of antagonistical to the world. Yeah. That's it. I'm sorry. I'm not Trudeau. I just like talking. No.
I totally get it. I mean, yeah, there's a lot to talk about there, but I mean, we could talk for like 10 hours. That's the thing, right?
Yeah, we could.
So it's like, And we will. We will.
Sounds good.
We will.
I hope I did it good on your interview, and I hope your chat doesn't feel like, what the fuck was that? Sorry.
No.
Sorry, I'm a little vocal. I love swearing is rubber. But yeah, man, I appreciate your time and thank you for the invite.
No, man. You're here, so I appreciate your time. So Monday at 12.
My channel, yes. If you want to copy the link in the private chat, you can copy that and actually post it in your chat so these people can click on it. And I will work on the thumbnail tonight.
Okay. Well, no rush. I mean, it's Monday. It's only Friday tomorrow.
I know.
Okay, so what did you want me to post in the chat?
If anyone wants to find my channel, you can highlight you can highlight, which means take your mouse and scroll over top. You can hit Control-C or right-click copy, and then you can paste it in the private chat.
Oh, no, I'm not that dumb. I know how to copy.
Hey, you said you're technically savvy here, bro. I'm just trying to help. Mitch Hedberg,
Right.
I rolled over on my twin bed and wondered where my brother was.
Okay, there we go. Fat Steven Seagal. Boom.
And honestly, I think you have a way of having entertainment and interviews, but you should probably go down this road because I think you like talking to people just as much. I think auto is just a taste for you.
Damn it, man. Everyone's telling me to go in every which direction. I don't know, man.
Dude, this is the longest interview you've had so far, I think. 3 hours? Dude,
it is, but I got to figure out what I want to do because this, like, you know, anyways, we got to talk about that, but I don't know, man. Like, it's one of those things. I told everyone in one of my streams that I'd like announce like a new direction for the channel on Friday, and I'm like still like, God, I don't know, man, what the hell I'm gonna be doing. So that's the thing. Like, I love talking and I love like doing this kind of stuff, but it's just not something that I think would be sustainable. I don't think. Like,
okay, all right. Here. Let me help you.
Okay.
What you gotta look at is this way. What are you passionate about? And then apply it. That's all that matters.
I just like fleshing out like a story, and I like talking to people about things. I like, you know, exploring.
Isn't that entertainment? These people
the thing is, for me, like, a lot of people say, oh, go after a passion, Chris, but you know, there's not just one thing that I like doing. There's many different things, and I feel like it's like, you know, like a lot of people on their YouTube channel make it in a specific niche, but for me, it's just like people are gonna get shell shocked with I'm doing this, all this different.
But that's just it. The thing is, your channel is an extension of you. Your passion will change as you grow up and evolve. So as long as your passion is applied, those people will still be there. You're not doing it for the viewers. You're showing yourself, and yourself is why people are still here. So you've already. If you've never tried new things, how are you going to find out where you want to go? It's like looking at a treasure map and never going to the X, right? I'm guessing here. I'm very bad with metaphors here.
Very good way of putting it. And that's the thing. Like, a lot of people in the, like, you know, they're looking at like, oh, don't overthink it. But it is a lot of things to think about, because at the end of the day, like, you know, if I am not going to be working, then this is going to be my full-time job. If I am going to be working, then I'm going to have a lot less time for the channel. So it's like, you got to use your time efficiently on things that is a balance between what you like and what the viewers are going to be interested in looking at. So it's a balancing act in everything. It's not as simple as, well, you got to just do whatever your heart desires. It's got to be a little bit more calculated than that, I feel.
But if your heart desires it, then people are going to notice it and be tuned in at the same time, right? If you're only like, because every viewer in your chat is different, is going to have a different opinion of what they want to watch, right? Different perception of you. But you're the only person who gets to dictate how you're passionate enough about going at things. So technically, the one who owns the channel will drive in the crowd at the end of the day. Also, I honestly think you just need to have a beer and just shoot the shit one time with the chat and see where it goes from there. Because honestly, I've been drinking a little bit of brandy tonight. Keeps me all nice and warm. I got my dad's making ribs. But at the end of the day, the ones that believe in you and support you will always be there. And I wish one day You find a Loki like I did, or an Arwen Avalon, or a Mongo Bay Things. These are all people on YouTube I've met, or a Nerdrotic, or a Heel versus Babyface, a Purple Valkyrie, or a Mexican Iron Man. Like these are all people I have met over time and have just.
So many people
You
getting
can't describe them. But you've never heard of them, right? But these are all people that are in my chat that are now in your chat that all have had some type of influence on other people.
Yeah.
And the fact that you've already monetized in under a month is a milestone in itself. So you accept it a little bit. You don't have ego. You're still young. You're still growing. And we evolve every time we wake up. That's all that fucking matters.
Yeah. Well, I know exactly what you mean.
And rub one out.
Roll it over. I'm not stressing about it too much because at the end of the day, no matter which direction I choose, I'm gonna like it, right? Like I would like it to be a little bit of a balance between original content in terms of stories and explorations and stuff and traveling, but also like doing stuff like this because I feel like being alone and making up these scripts and recording it all alone in this chilly basement and, doing stuff. It's like, you got to have that personal element every once in a while, change it up, talk to people, interview people, because, after all, that's what it's about is the personal connections. So I don't know. All this is just a long way of saying I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be doing yet.
That's a good answer. That's a perfect answer.
I appreciate that, man.
I don't know is a very perfect answer because you're not going to know because things will change each day depending on what influences.
But you know what? One of the things that I was really wanting to do is put it as like an open sort of. Let's I was thinking, what? Like, what on earth could we get from this? Why don't we just, say, hey, viewers, what would you want to see? Put it down below, and whatever gets the most thumbs up, I'll do it. Like, just kind of keep it charismatic, and just, I like that.
Yeah. Well, then cool. Then why don't you dedicate a day to that? Where it's like, hey, it's like, let's say, what was it called? Raffle Friday or something, and you put up a poll. What should we talk about? Or even to say, like, you can even have as long as people in the chat are respectful and want to come online, talk with them on how fucking Ottawa influenced them or why they're still tuning into your channel. Make it like a member stream if you ever decide to do membership. There's a lot of avenues. There is.
There's a lot of avenues. I know. It's a big
I am not doing truth or dare. Hell no. No.
So the thing is about this whole like instant fame sort of thing, and I'm not going to say that I'm famous or anything, but getting 16,000 subscribers in like, I don't even know, like less than a month, it gets your head a bit. It kind of overwhelms you a bit. And you're like, oh God, like, what do I do with that? Right. So it's not like, a super simple thing, but I get that it shouldn't be also overcomplicated.
Okay. I got a great idea. Okay, let's just do this. We'll open up our own Asmer channel. Be like, hi, I'm Asmerelda. We're going to talk about laryngitis and cigarettes while I lick the mic for about 3 hours. You guys good with that? No, I'm just kidding. I'm making fun of Twitch right now. Do you even know what I'm talking about?
Not at all.
All right, when you get offline, look up Twitch. Asper, it's a whole bunch of girls wearing low-cut tops licking a mic. You think I'm joking? I'm not. At all. At all. And C's right. Don't overthink of it. Because as soon as you start overthinking it, you're going to put yourself down on the what ifs rather than just go with the flow.
I know. People, but yeah, I know. People are just, it's not that simple. It's never that simple. You got to think about things. No, it's not. You got to think bad influence, man. No. You got to think very strategically. You got to think in a sustainable sense. You also got to think that now you have the responsibility as an entertainer and you got to be entertaining. Otherwise, you're going to be bad at your job. Like,
look at Jimmy Kimmel. That's an entertainer, air quotes. That's doing a bad job. So honestly, there's your reference point of what not to go down. Or look at Stephen Colbert, or how that's fallen, or Trevor Noah. Remember when Jon Stewart and the Daily Show used to be the primetime thing? Or even like, I got a mission for you. Have you ever watched Little Britain?
No, I haven't watched barely.
Watch Little Britain. And you will laugh. It is the best thing out there next to, like, say, South Park the way it was, or like Drawn Together, or old Adult Swim series. There's so much out there that can help you understand what humor can come from.
People.
You don't need an answer right away. That's it. You don't need an answer. No, you don't. You're not going to figure out your life in a day or in a minute. That's the best thing. I don't know is the best answer. I'll stand by that.
Well, okay, fine. Okay, you guys have convinced. Now all right. I'll just whatever. I'll just wing it. I'll just do whatever wherever the wind takes me, and just kind of see what the viewers like and whatever. If I'll just whatever. I'll just do whatever my heart desires. I guess with what you guys are trying to say. Fine.
See. I hope I'm saying this. Repmuj. I hope I'm saying that right. You're rushing because you think you'll lose subscribers. Slow down and have fun with this. Exactly it. Have fun. If you're not, that's it. There's no one thing. Have fun. Do lives for now. Your subscribers like interacting with you. You'll figure it out as you go. That is the most brilliant advice right there. So I hope I said your name right. He nailed it right there. Red Prince. Also, Snoopy wants to support you getting you on the ground doing interviews again. Like, Snoopy's a good person. There are people out there that will be in your corner because they want to see the best for you because they believe in you. And the ones that do will do the best they can and not want anything from you. And while you're here, subscribe to Fat Steven Seagal because I'm just kidding. Billy May is here.
Shout yourself out. I don't care.
No, I will not. No, I feel bad. I like I said, I hate compliments when people. Yeah, it's just Rec nailed that. Even if you have to screenshot that and put it somewhere as a picture later on, you nailed it.
Well, yeah, I guess. I mean. Yeah, at the end of the day, you got to put less pressure on yourself and just have fun with it, I guess. But, it is really hard. You got to put yourself in my shoes, though. It's really hard not to be overthinking this because it's like, boom, you get this explosion of subscribers. There was one point where I gained like 8,500 subscribers in one day. That's like, how do you have that not get to your head, right?
But if you gained 8,000 subscribers, why are all those 8,000 not here right now?
That's a really good, but again, that's like with everything, right? You're going to have a lot of dead subscribers who, may have only been interested in a certain topic and then, they're not going to watch you anymore or whatever. They forget to unsubscribe. And so, I don't know. It's just this is a unique situation, I feel, and it's also a very unique solution because I don't understand. Like, what am I supposed to do, right? Like, it's a lot of pressure, and so I think at this point,
who's pressuring you?
Myself, man.
Then you're not, but then you're already being unfair to yourself. But I'm saying, like, think about me. Like, I love covering the Convoy stuff, and it's not going to be the same as Ottawa with the U.S. stuff. But I still want to stream games and have the Convoys playing at the same time. And it's hard to find that medium, but I'm trying. The same way I'm beating myself down as much as you're beating yourself down, and we have a 2 year different of experience. Have fun, don't overthink it, and just do what you were doing now. Because honestly, we wouldn't be talking for 3 hours unless you enjoyed it.
Well, yeah, I know. Now I know.
Yeah, now I'm just being a dick with common sense. I'll just go back to the bathroom. And
I know. But it's like, yeah, for me, it's you got to have a little bit of a middle ground there because if YouTube is something that you want to do, full-time thing, it's important, right?
I got it. Pay attention to the next Toronto protest for freedom and go down there and film that. Maybe that's your next goal.
Well, do you think there's going to be one?
Supposedly there's one every Saturday or supposedly. But who knows? You got to keep your arrows on the ground. If you're into like talking to real people of why they're doing this and what inspires them to go down and protest, there's your niche to start off with. And from there, you can find other people interest. Okay. You don't even have to interview people. But if you enjoy like just going down and filming how things are going on with people standing up for something, then you got to believe in something.
Well, I saw Travel Fun 69 streaming Convoy. I'm so used to the Convoy. The whole Queen's Park thing in Toronto this last Saturday, and I was like, oh, damn it, I should have been there. But then I was like, oh, well, the mandates drop next week, so is there even going to be anything there on the weekend?
Maybe not. This is why you gotta look for something that will go on. Like, just take it as you go. All I can say
Again,
is
I also think that a fatal flaw is making a channel so exclusively about the convoy. Like there is some YouTubers where it's like, you know, you did something beforehand and then you did the convoy and then now it's all just about the convoy. Like you know, I don't want to be that guy who's just chasing around the convoy and constantly interviewing people,
But
and that's all. That's that's my life, right? Like
same here. I want to get back to gaming, but I know people aren't going to be interested in gaming. They hear Fortnite, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, that fucking game! I gotta go." It's like, but it's the same thing. I worked hard to get that creator code and all that stuff, but I do like gaming. I like playing Phasmophobia live. I like getting killed by the ghost that, for some reason, as soon as I mentioned like Last Jedi, ghost just killed me. I like playing games because with games, it like people say, for me, it helps me solve problems. If I didn't play Destiny a couple days ago, I wouldn't have figured out how to put different streams on one panel and start showing multiple different feeds of different YouTube live streams of different truckers' perspectives. There's a lot of out there, but if you don't try it, then you'll never know. And that's it. I'm a horrible public speaker. I'm sorry. And Snoopy it really wants to support you. So either way, whatever you do, don't second guess. Give it a shot. And if it fails, then you know next time. But if you never try, you'll never know. It's like the stupidest question is the one not asked.
Okay. You know what? Yeah.
He hates me right. Like, fuck that guy with logic. Fuck that guy.
I'll just have to wing it as I go. You know, maybe
Yeah.
just, like maybe put a poll up on my channel. Be like, all right, do you guys want me to even go to the convoy on Saturday? Would that, or I keep on saying the convoy. Anyways, do you guys want me to go and to Queen's Park? Yes or no? Put a poll up, and it would be interesting to see what people's reaction to that would be because I put up a poll right as soon as I came home. Hey, do you guys want highlight clips of the convoy? It was like 3,000 votes yes. So I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I better do that. So we'll see. We'll see what the sentiment is now.
Either way, just don't worry yourself a failure.
Yeah.
No matter what, but that's the thing though, even if your content isn't what viewers want, YouTube is always scrubbing subscribers. So no matter what,
Are they?
Yeah, they always do. They do it all the time. Just do it, man. Like, I'll be here to help if you need any advice. There's a lot of people I can recommend that have been the same way, that have helped me out. And it's just, think of it as a roller coaster. Just enjoy the ride. That's it.
That's poetic, man.
It's not poetic. God damn, it's from Trudeau to poetic. God damn, I feel like I'm going to have to write a new tombstone. Here lies fat Steven Seagal. What the fuck? You think I like being known as Fat Steven the rest of my life? God damn. Buy my merch. But that's all good. Like, these people are all propping you up because they're here. But yeah, and the things people just want to hear about Ukraine or fucking conspiracy theories. It's just because they're it's all good. I had fun today. I needed this. Thank you, Prince. I needed this talk. Chris, I needed this. Thank you.
No, don't even.
See, you don't like compliments either. Look at that.
Don't give me too much credit. Don't give me too
There's
much
no credit. I can say thank you, Shakespeare. Fuck you. Mikey. Sorry. I mean, swear. We're half an hour over, so we're all good. They won't hit you too much.
Shakespeare and Steven.
Yeah, we want reality. We all need reality.
I need to highlight that for everyone to see.
Oh, you're a bastard. I should never have taught you that.
Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't have.
Like, secretly, I'm a Destiny gamer too. I like playing games. I like playing with my friends, hearing how we joke around and troll each other. I love that stuff. I used to talk about pop culture and like things like Star Trek and how Star Wars is garbage now. Like, I love just making mockery of it because there's I'm tired of virtue signaling. There's so much out there. As long as you promise me one thing, not to become a hate click, I'll be happy. Hate click is when you start making your content of how much this shit is garbage rather than focusing on how there's goods and bads, like a pro and con list. That's it.
I didn't know they were called hate clicks.
Hate clicks is when you're making like content just to get the views rather than making content.
That's really strange that they call it that. Hate click. Okay. I thought that was just clickbait.
Same thing, but clickbait is all. Clickbait pretty much falls, I guess, under the line as false advertising. You bring a title up, it has nothing to do about the title. It's like, man shits on alligator. Nope, man pooped on toilet and alligator was in toilet. You know what I mean? It's like the different story. It's perspective.
Okay, I understand now.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
He's a good kid, right, Chet? He's a good kid, right?
think-
Yeah. Is there any single ladies out there that want to date the Red Prince and become the Red Queen? Anyone out there? He's like, I was holding that line for like 3 hours. Ladies. I'm never coming. He's never gonna fight me back.
So there's an interesting point about that. Because I was looking at the demographics of the people watching my videos, and 0% of the people who watch my videos are 25 and under. So I'm like, if you're saying that,
Sugar mamas everywhere.
I know, it's the worst.
That's funny because I got 2.3% in the 18 to 24 and then 10% in the 25 to 34 years old. And
see, that's the thing.
I have a 50% of the 65-year plus. I'm like, oh god, if you have to change their teeth. I'm kidding. This is jokes, but like the YouTube analytics are never right, man.
It's the young generation seems to hate my channel, but that's okay.
Well, the young generation left behind a like binge now Netflix model. When you have the older generation in there who remember the values of what it's like to work hard and earn that respect of a living paycheck, those are the ones that actually matter because those are the ones that are trying to pass on those values while everyone else is trying to kill them. So that's a great freaking analytic to have. I respect all of that stuff because I know the mentality. You hold the door for a lady, you pull out her chair, you compliment her dress. When she asks if these pants make her ass look big, you say no while trying not to laugh. There's all those little things, right? Yeah.
Okay, we're ending the stream. All right.
He's like, this is getting uncomfortable now. I'm gonna get a whole bunch of Jerry Springer. Like, you are not the father. I'm out.
Okay, we're ending the stream.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for your time, Chris. I appreciate it, man. You're welcome on my channel anytime.
Oh my God, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it against my better judgment. We're gonna be doing it 12.
Better judgment. Thank you so. Now he's becoming the dick of.
I'm kidding. 12 on Monday. I'll see you on your channel. And I don't know why we didn't do this already, but we need to exchange numbers.
That's cool, man. And I'll be like, my dearest Antoinette, today someone slighted me on YouTube by saying he was trying to get me hooked up on Tinder.
I'm banned from Tinder, by the way.
I heard about that. You put your Convoy hashtag, you got banned. Yeah, bro, I heard about that. That's
I know. I put the Convoy on.
Just try Grinder. Just say no women and see what happens.
You're such a
What Grinder's the what? Come on. If anyone takes me seriously as being weird, this is crazy.
Isn't Grinder only for like gay people?
That's the whole point of like no women.
Oh, God damn it! It's way over my head.
Plenty of whoops. No, I appreciate it. You guys. If you can make people laugh, you're doing a good job, and I like making people laugh.
Yeah, holy, what a wild ride this one has been.
He's regretting every minute of it.
Don't. I'm starting to. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, what the? It's okay.
No. If I regretted it, I wouldn't come on Monday. So we're gonna get going.
You heard that, ladies? It's gonna come on Monday.
All right, we're
not doing this now before you get demonetized. It's got awkward.
Before I get banned, like straight up.
You won't. You won't.
I know. Let's still. Anyways, all right, Steven, I'm gonna see you on Monday.
All right, man. That's cool. I'm also natural. Thank you, C.
All right, guys. I think this is it. All right.
Cake.
All right. See you, Steven.
Bye.
Bye.